I can't. I don't know why you do that all the time. Here we go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of my Unsolicited Opinion podcast with myself, Joy, Ty, and NAllenRx. We are here to talk a little bit about the invisible man. What is an invisible man? I don't really know. I think, it's kind of something that people have been saying or a plight that men may have been talking about without actually calling it what it is. And we want to delve into that a little bit today, particularly through some of these Hollywood stars like Michael B. Jordan, like Drake. Like, would we really take a second look at them if they weren't who they are today? I'm not really sure, but we're definitely going to unpack that, talk a little bit about it, and see what it is that we can do as women to make sure that we're not mistreating or abusing any men without realizing that it's something that we're doing. So, ladies, how we doing?
You gonna go
We
first?
good.
Okay.
No, we're funny. No, we're good. We're good. Um, yeah, I mean it's a Wednesday. It's hump day, so
I know we got on our green. Good luck.
good luck.
You
Good
got a
luck.
green nail? Okay, give me a
Irish.
green
St.
nail.
Oh,
Patrick's
yeah, like
Day is
it.
on the
Oh,
way.
Yes.
St.
that's
Patrick's Day is
right.
on
You
the
know.
way. I need some luck. I want some money from my job. Y'all pray for me that these interest rates do the right thing.
What's the
Yes,
right thing?
of
Huh?
course.
What's the right thing?
Oh God, we in the
Go down.
sevens. They try to act like, oh, the rates are plummeting because of the bank that failed on Friday, and that is not what happened at all. But you know, it's
Yeah,
okay.
you did a stream about that, didn't you, Joy?
Yeah, I did. I talked a little bit about it just to kind of get people to understand what the background was and if it was a big deal or if it wasn't a big deal. The gist of the story is most people don't have $250,000 in cash, so they not talking to you.
We need to know if they're talking to us.
They
Just
not
saying.
talking to
Okay,
you, ready? Don't you worry.
but y'all ain't talking to these invisible men. That's what they
Right.
saying.
We don't see them, evidently, but they're there. Are they
Yeah.
making themselves known? Do y'all think that it's? I think it's a number of reasons why these men are invisible, or they may feel invisible. But I guess we'll get into it tonight. So
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
yeah.
So, I mean, I guess the question is, and of course, everyone's seen the thumbnail, and so the question is, you know, are these men invisible? Like the men that say, we women overlook them, right? Until they may have reached a certain point in their lives, a certain, type of success or something like that. But up until that point, they are considered invisible to a certain type of woman. And so what I like to do, as you all know, I like to cue up a little clip to give us some context or some a trope, an antidote or something like that. And let's take a look at it. So here we go.
On a Hustle Show, we got Michael B. Jordan, the director and the star of Creed 3. And we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
Oh, the corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure.
No, I heard it.
No, you did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name, but yeah, he is obviously killing things out here. How is the difference between you actually directing and working with the same people that you were directed with versus?
It was awesome. It's a family vibe. Last nine years of my life, I spent on the Creed films. They're very supportive. Tessa, Felicia, Rashad, Wood Harris, people that see me grow up. And for the fact that I stepped behind the camera and finally got a chance to direct them, they loved it, they embraced it, and it was a wonderful experience.
And was it difficult for you mentally because you're coming out of a different space?
I didn't know he was doing the athletic gear. I mean, I was staying in it. This is about y'all. This ain't about me.
Isn't this the sexiest man
Director right here.
show off right here? Who's the sexiest man? Because now
kind of
who's
question
the
is that?
sexiest man? Because I thought you said you're on the way up. He might be the one right now.
This is the one. This is the one right here. Yeah. See
So
this?
is it a tie?
Ain't no tie. We don't
It's not a
compete.
tie.
Yeah, we don't compete.
Two number ones.
Technically,
Batman and Batman. Or should I? Oh, no, can't say
it
that.
should be Superman and Superman.
Superman and Superman,
Good
sorry.
luck with that.
Like, bro.
Okay, so you also are going to do a new film with Will Smith very soon coming up. Is the rumor out there?
Not sure. We're still working on the script. That's something that I plan on doing in the future. Not sure when. With these movies, I'm just trying to get through this project.
Right,
So when I get finished with this one, then I'll figure out what's going on next.
And how is it filming in Atlanta?
It was amazing. I've done 4 or 5 films down here, shot a couple television shows, so Atlanta's a second home to me, and I love coming down here to shoot.
Favorite restaurant here?
Oh, man. Whatever hotel I'm in, their restaurant.
Well, you're not corny anymore.
Woo! Well, you're not corny anymore, is what she said at the end there, and that's why I wanted to kind of play the full clip, because we know we've been sitting around, going around in shorts, just like bits and pieces of it. But what y'all think about that? What you think about that, NAllen?
Um, After really like looking at it, it was she said that they were making fun of the name, which in elementary school, high school, whatever, kids are being kids. His name is Michael Jordan. So I think he with that in that sense he may have been being a little bit sensitive.
Oh,
I think
not
I didn't feel like that was
sensitive.
corny. I felt like that was kind of like, you know, kids tease each other in school. People made jokes about me. So it's like it's Michael Jordan. So what's I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But I did feel like the air was thick between them from his side. He was not cooperating. He was trying to get out of it as soon as he could. But I mean, what do y'all think about it?
I mean, a lot of the backlash on the internet was saying that he was being corny by the fact that he remembered. But I don't think that that's corny at all. I think that we've all had moments and people and interactions, males, females. It could have been our teachers. We've all had somebody that underestimated us or overlooked us, and we do not forget. Please put a battery in my back. Please put a battery in my back, because I
Okay.
guarantee you I'm gonna remember, and you gonna know that I remember. So I don't know. I didn't think it was corny at all that he simply acknowledged the fact, like, oh yeah, back then they didn't want me. Now all on me here now. Little Mike Jones. Mike
My
Jones.
God. You
Who?
know, I was like, when I seen the interview, and I feel like he knew exactly who she was. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, it was kind of like when she was like, "Oh, I remember you from high school," and he kind of it was kind of like, "Oh yeah, like yeah, I do remember you from high school." Blah blah blah, and then he goes on to say, "I'm the corny man. I was the corny guy." And I think people were trying to reference because L'Oreal has a podcast.
Oh, that's her
Yeah,
name?
L'Oreal. Yeah. So she was on a reality TV. She was on Love and Hip Hop, I want to say it was, a few years ago. And but she now has a podcast with Eva and someone else. And that someone else was the one who actually used the word corny. And she didn't necessarily use the word corny. But I mean, just in the context of this video, I feel like one, he knew exactly who she was, right? Because I mean, if most people most of the people I can remember from like high school, right? I may not know your name, but I like remember you, right? Especially if you're doing something within the same industry that I'm doing something in. So they're both in the entertainment industry, and she was on TV. And then like, I feel like he been waiting for a moment like that all his life. I don't know. Like I felt like he was waiting for a moment where he could go back, like he could, get his get back by, saying something to the fact like, oh, you remember when you called me corny, or you remember when you was making fun of my name, and now what I'm saying, everybody know Michael B. Jordan, not maybe so like overtly, but that was like his cool way of saying something like that, right? 'Cause, Lord said they'll lay a full table out in front of you. Okay, I'm always the one bringing up Bible verses, and I don't
No,
be knowing
no,
where they coming
no.
from.
Prepare
But,
the table in front of you.
Lay a whole table out.
Come on. Preach. Let's go. I'm rocking with you. I'm
but
with
no,
you.
I felt like he was waiting on that, and then I felt like when she was like, "No, that wasn't me. I didn't call you corny or whatever." He felt like that. I felt from that point on, he was kind of like I ain't about to give you the interview you want, right? Like it ain't
I
gonna
felt
be
like
that.
he
I'm
was
gonna
like
answer these questions.
halfway out the whole time.
Halfway in, halfway out, you know what I mean? Talking to other people, doing that whole thing, and then like just giving like real, I mean, it's the red carpet, so you're not gonna give like this full blown Oprah interview, but you're gonna, you know what I mean? So I don't think he was an engaging, and then at the end, I guess I don't know, I feel like she felt it, and she was like, I guess you're not corny anymore because she ain't really try to play him on the carpet. She was just like, no, that wasn't me that called you corny, and it wasn't her, and like it was just like, I'm here for an interview, like professionals. I don't know. I
He
mean, I'm
wasn't.
not mad at him. I'm like, listen, if I can get my, you know what I mean? If I wasn't teased like that, but I'm just saying, if I ever felt like I wanted to show and prove to somebody, prove somebody wrong about something, I'm going to take full advantage of that.
Well, I mean, he did have a what they call a glow up, right? I mean, I don't know what he was like when he was a teenage boy, but he has managed to date one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. Lori Harvey is absolutely stunning. Like, say what you want to say about her, but I mean, she is just absolutely just beautiful. And so that was his main girl for, I guess, over a year. And that didn't work out the way that he wanted it to work out. But maybe, she was like, I don't really care about your money and your muscles. You corny to me. Like, quiet as it's kept, there's no amount of money that you can make somebody have a better personality. I don't believe that. Like, you can't unlame somebody if that person is somebody just socially awkward or whatever it is. You can't. And that might have been what happened. That might have been
So is that
demoted.
an invisible man? I mean,
Yeah.
what is an invisible man? What defines an invisible man?
Before we get into it, we want to let's see who we got in the chat, y'all.
Hey y'all.
Let's see who we got in here. We got Google Me. Google Me says, I want to see what the aunties have to say as well as their daughters. We are the aunties. That is us. Stay tuned, my dear. My sexy and strong, one of our fellow mastermind mates. She says, good evening, ladies, and
Hey,
good evening to
girl.
you. We want y'all to get active in the chat. Stay active in the chat over here at the My Unsolicited Opinion podcast. We have a Celeste, the pediatric dentist. She says, Happy Wednesday, ladies. Happy hump day. The thumbnail had her weak in the knees. She could hardly speak. Speaking of that, man, they crazy. Coco escaping them. But anyway,
I'm
that's up to
telling you,
me.
I've been watching myself.
They giving us all the drama that we can stand, baby. Celeste says, Come on with the scripture, Ty. Praise him. Hallelujah and
Okay,
amen.
I guess I'm the only one that go to church
Yes.
around
My
here.
sexy and strong Pauletta with he definitely was in his feelings and was waiting on that moment. I think so too. Oh, look who we got up in here. I wish we had a thunder and a lightning, but we got the man.
Okay.
He is here. Thane Midra. He says, corny men run the world. Yes, they do. We're gonna have to agree or disagree, Thane. We're gonna see if they're invisible or not to these modern women. And what do we think is an invisible man? So we're gonna get into it, guys. Y'all stay tuned.
All right. So, okay, I'm gonna start with you, Joy. What is your definition of like a man that's invisible, an invisible man?
Mm, girl, why you come to me first? So,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
I don't know. Okay, I want to be polite when I say. So, I mean, just somebody who I'm just not immediately attracted to. It doesn't make them a bad person. Like, I could tell you right now, I'm really literally at this very moment thinking of a very specific person that I know he's attracted to me. He's made some remarks or whatever. We're just friends, so it's nothing like disrespectful or too forward. But I'm just not. It would never happen. There's just nothing. We get along great
Why?
friends. He has a great personality, but he's just not someone that I'm immediately attracted to. I would he he's and it
Why is
I can't exactly pinpoint why. It's just I guess it's nothing about him that's outstanding. Um you don't have to always be the most beautiful or attractive person in the room to be attractive. Your personality can fill the room. Your smile can fill the room. It's a lot of different ways to attract other people. Like I don't want to reduce it just to physicality, but something about you should be memorable enough for me to be like, oh, okay. Just the way you carry yourself, your swag, just a variety of it could be the way that you articulate yourself. It could be a variety of things, but I guess unfortunately I would say, he would be invisible to me just because it's just absolutely nothing that makes him stand out to me that would make me turn my head twice. And I mean that, like I said, not just his physical appearance, but even his personality. And like I said, we're great friends. He's just not that guy for me.
All right. And Alan,
Uh,
what is your invisible guy?
um, I didn't even know that this was a thing until recently. We were talking about that in our last stream and the one before that too, I think. But it's evidently it's the other, what, 80% of guys, that because it's only 20% of women. What is 20%? Women want to date the
No.
20% of the men, only 20% of the
Right.
men. So those
Something like that.
80%, they probably feel overlooked. I kind of like put invisible with overlooked. And
Mm,
according to these stats that are being pushed on social media, it's like those ones who don't make a certain amount of money or they're not a certain height. But, I kind of still am of the mindset of being in your own lane again, because it's like certain people you're not going to match with anyway, regardless of, if you're, president of the class or, sexiest man alive. If, like I said, I didn't really like men that I don't really need a man cooking for me like that. You know, that kind of
because
person
you,
might be overlooked by me because I'm like, I ain't really into that. So it's like, and I think some of it could be from what's inside, how they feel about themselves. Because, a lot of times until men until they feel like they're making enough money to support a woman, they don't want to be in a committed relationship and different things like that. So I think it's a little bit of them, how they feel about themselves. And it could be, you just not gonna match well with a lot of women. And so, it's like, oh, you feel overlooked because you just not in your right lane. But what do you think, Ty? What do you think?
when you say like being in your lane, I am all for that. And I think a lot of times men feel overlooked when they're looking for things outside of their lane, right? Like, and not to, take it to the extreme, but let's, think of, okay, you said Lori Harvey, right? I don't know if Lori Harvey was checking for Wallace, right? And that was when Michael B. Jordan was playing on the wire when he was a kid. That's the, from that era.
Oh,
But she
hardball.
could be or hardball, right? I don't know, right? But Lori Harvey was checking for old buddy that was in Creed. You know what I mean? Or she's checking for well, I don't even remember his name in Black Panther, but you know what I mean, like,
Yes.
and I baby, who was it? Anyway, so we took off the shirt and you saw the okay, anyway, but what I'm saying is a lot of times, um I won't just say men. I say people have like this chip on their shoulder, as if no one. We all have our lane. We all have what we are attracted to, and just because you're not attracted, just because you're invisible to Joy, doesn't necessarily mean that you're invisible to me. And I think a lot of times when you start to feel invisible is when you want things that aren't necessarily what you can get, right?
I agree.
And people make them, I feel like you make your own self invisible. Now, if we want to talk about, the geeks and the nerds, and I think they mentioned like, these people like run the world. Yeah, they there are a lot of people who weren't necessarily were looked over for whatever reason they were looked over for, that have like power positions in the world. I don't know who was checking for I don't know who was checking for Joe Biden, when he was a young man. Maybe his first wife, maybe his second wife,
Now hold
but
on, now he was an
somebody.
attractive man. Now hold on, low key. Now
I don't
he
know what
was
attractive I
an
don't know what
attractive man.
attractive
So
is in the I don't know the standard of beauty in the 50s and 60s and 70s. I don't know. I mean, anyway, but what I'm saying is like you just have to know and play in the field that you're qualified to like play in. And that's not trying to say, that's not trying to be elitist or anything like that. I'm not in a lot of people's lanes, right? But a lot of people aren't in mine. And so I make myself available to the ones who are like in my lane, and I feel seen by those people, right? It's when you start to look for certain things that, If you can't be, listen, you can't be outside of your lane is what I
Say
want
it.
to
Say
say.
it.
You can't be outside of your lane. You can't be, as a man, you can't be broke on the street, and doing all that and thinking that, oh, this woman that may, be of, I don't know, some social status or some type of high class is going to come find me digging out the trash can, right? Vice versa. You can't be some woman on the street cracked out thinking like some knight in shining armor is about to come and swoop you, from the crack
Like a
house. Now,
pretty woman. They watch
I
too much TV.
pretty, or, you know what I'm saying? Well, pretty woman's a little different because I know a lot of men that don't wipe the
Wipe up the.
struggles and the, but whatever, that's their business. They were in who those people were in their lane and they accepted. But if you want a certain type of person, if you want a certain type of woman, you want a certain type of man, you need to understand what that person is like attracted to, right? Understand like what you bring, or, what you bring to the table. But I'm of the same mind as Joy. Is like it's not always about the what a person appearance is. It's something about them. Do they make you laugh? Do they have a good personality? Do they command, a room? Or maybe they don't. Maybe they're the low key person in the corner. You attracted to people like that. That's, in the corner on the wallflower, right? Or maybe you're attracted to the geeky guy that's, that works IT and he can tell you all the, zeros and ones going on and he's writing code. It's whatever your lane is. And that's what I'm saying. But a
I,
lot of men like to position themselves and be like, oh, these modern women, they don't like these kind of guys. You a lie. Right? Like I know a lot
Yeah.
of women that like those kind of guys, right? Does he like those women? Right? You're visible to somebody. Somebody
Right.
likes you. You know what I mean? Like somebody likes your type.
And you
You
need
need
to
to look at
understand
it.
who that is, because I know what kind of I know what my type is, and I know the kind that like me and the kind that I like. We gonna be doing this. Not really like a whole lot of pushback, but we get the back and forth is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So it's like and if you don't like that kind of person, I'm not mad. I don't feel invisible because that person didn't choose me because I'm probably not really, it's not gonna work out.
Right.
It I think it's a good thing to not be seen by some people. You're gonna waste your time. Stop. You won't be wasting any time by trying to make something fit that's not there. So everybody need to figure out. We're gonna go back to the man in the mirror, and we're gonna go back to driving in our lane. Because if you're shooting for a certain kind of chick, you want Lori Harvey, and you average Joe. And to be honest, even with Michael B. Jordan, he was calling her Turtle. Wasn't that his like nickname?
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people, might want to. She might want to be called beautiful or baby doll or something like that. I imagine because I'm not Lori Harvey. I'm just me. So and working my regular life, living my doing my day.
Right.
But I don't know if she want to be called Turtle. I don't know. That might not be cute to her. And some people might think like, oh, he called me anything. I love him. But she's like, Turtle, I'm going to smile as long as I can for it. But it's like, I
True,
like him. No,
true,
I think
true.
he cool. I like a little bit of a nerd. I really like smart people. But I'm just saying, Turtle though, like, it's like, so
Thane says Elon Musk is corny.
he is, but he out here, he got ex-wives, and let's not even get into Amber Heard with her mess.
they
So at
they
this
Okay.
point, unfortunately, he got enough money to do whatever he want to
He
do.
is not corny to some people.
He ain't.
He corny to
He getting these
me.
women.
He getting women. I
He
don't
got
know.
this AI going. He definitely into the AI, artificial
Go
intelligence.
ahead, Joy.
I mean, does money unlame you though? Like, cause
It might for
I still
some
wouldn't be
women.
checking for him.
It might for some people.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I know for sure there are some women that can be bought. But I was thinking as y'all were talking about something that was said on the pivot. A few months ago, Shannon Crowder got into some hot water because he said Russell Wilson was a square. And he was like, I don't care. I said what I said. He said, I don't care if he was my teammate. Ain't no way. He said, I would never hang out with him. I don't care. Because he thought he was a square. He was lame. Do y'all think that Sierra would have dated him if he wasn't Russell Wilson now, the NFL football player?
No, I don't. I
You don't
don't.
think so?
They weren't because I say that because people date their peer, like they date their peers, they date who they are around. Hollywood dates Hollywood, right? That's what it is, right? Whether you're in front of the camera or behind the camera, these people mingle with each other. The entertainment industry dates within the entertainment industry. That's why Lori Harvey had her good share of Diddy and Michael B. Jordan and all these men that were, within the industry because she was within the industry. If Russell Wilson was just, a regular guy. Let's just say he was an IT professional. He made, let's just say anywhere from like $150,000 a year. He works at Amazon. Would Sierra date him? Probably not, because he's probably not in her orbit.
So he's
In the
invisible.
So in that sense, yes, but it's like just if he were somehow in her space as the as this person who's not the football player, but somehow he managed to get in her circle. Do you still think that your answer is still the same? Because
If
I know
like
you're
he,
saying like in a physical sense, like he would be way over here in Idaho somewhere working IT. I don't know, and he wouldn't be able to get in touch with her like as a pop star. But if he somehow got into the same space with her as this IT person, do you think that she would still choose him or she would not?
no, I don't think she would listen. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like money doesn't make someone more. I'm gonna be real. Yes, if a man is well off, or he's famous or whatever have you, that will make more women attracted to him. He is put in front of a lot more people. Like he's the quarterback of an NFL football team.
Super
You know what I
Bowl,
mean?
yeah.
That super he did they win that one? They did win that one.
And
They
he
did
has a
win.
Super Bowl ring. I think
Yeah.
He
maybe
got a
two.
ring,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, she would have dated him if he was in a cardboard box, right? But like, I'm not gonna say that. Men know that, but they would not date her if she was some, project chick, hood rat chick. You know what I mean? In the hood with whatever,
I
but
think
she was
you're
still
giving
doing
me
the
too
same
much
dance
credit.
moves. You know what I'm saying? And had the same, had a, a child and everything. Like they wouldn't do that. Everybody knows that money and status and power and all of that makes you more attractive to a lot more people, right? But just because there's a lot more people, the funnel gets big doesn't necessarily mean that they're in your lane.
Well, I mean, we can definitely see the dichotomy between Future and Russell. I mean, they have literally absolutely nothing in common. Like, I don't have to know either one of them to know that they have nothing in common. It just makes me wonder, what would have driven her. Because generally speaking, a man has a type and a woman has a type, and men and women can reasonably agree that Russell Wilson is probably not the most popular guy, in the room with the money or without the money. And so that's why I was like, I wonder if the circumstances were a little different and he wasn't in the NFL, like, would he still be invisible to her?
Yeah.
And I agree. I think so. I
Yeah.
absolutely think so.
But that's where I guess when you have that kind of money and power, whatever, I guess that kind of like because I think that he's a good person. Well, I don't know him, okay, but from what he's portraying himself to be, and what she says of him, how she speaks of him, he seems like a good-hearted man, and now he's a good-hearted man with like a little bit more provision,
And he's
right? And so
athletic,
now
yeah.
he's a good-hearted man with more provision, and now she sees him. He's in her lane. She's married to him. They have kids together, so on and so forth. And just like you said, it has to be a little bit like money is not going to make you, and sometimes it ain't going to be your personality, right? A combination of two could probably work for you, right? just depends on what you're looking for. What's your lane? I mean, it's not that it's complicated, but it's not that complicated, if that makes sense,
Do
right?
you
I'm not
think that that made led him to dating outside of his race? Because he was married before Sierra.
right to the non-melanated lady. And here's my thing about that. I think that was like proximity. I mean, he was still an NFL player, and I think that was proximity. I don't know too much about Russell Wilson, so I'm not going to sit here and try to comment on his upbringing and how he was raised. I'm like quite sure he probably wasn't raised in like all black neighborhoods, or even I can't even say necessarily black middle class neighborhoods, right? I don't know. So this is just me speaking of it, but I feel like that was a lot of proximity. Don't even know what college the man went to. I know it wasn't a HBCU, but I think that's what was around him. That was probably he's a football guy. He's been a football guy for a while. He's been a football guy in high school. He was a football guy in college. He's the football guy in the NFL. So he's been the football guy for a while. And when you do stuff like that, it opens your lane up, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But was he the
Wherever you're at.
football guy that black women didn't want?
I'm not gonna say that it's clearly a black woman wanted him.
After the fact, though, right? So, like, as I'm listening to this conversation, I'm kind of just thinking about a variety of things, and I'm just kind of putting it all together. Do do we have this? Oh, he's lame. He's corny. Is that a black girl thing?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so because if we kind of look at it, the ones who are the top of the class per se, the quarterbacks, the basketball players, NBA players, they there's a certain type of woman that's shooting for those kind of guys, the black professional athletes, so they not necessarily going for what would be considered a cornball. So I don't think that's just limited to us. I think it's we probably express it more explicitly when we like, in our neck and all that. But I don't think it's just us. I think everybody, it's just, some people are fortunate enough to be the ones that, they got these superior genes and, they know how to work it to their advantage. But I don't think it's just us. I think we just like I said, we're a little bit more animated when we like, we don't want him or whatever. But
We don't want him.
no, I don't want you. You're invisible to me. But and then even really with that, everybody has their own type because it's like, I know I have a certain kind of dude that I like, and they not like, they
Yeah.
I do some, some of them do be top of the class. Some of them just like they good dudes and they hard working. So it's like, it don't matter. I feel like a lot of times when they talking about us, it comes to the six figures, and the 6 feet, but it's a
Here's
preference.
my
It's a
question.
preference.
When Russell Wilson came to the league, and I don't know if you ladies noticed or not, but when he came to the league, was he married already?
I think he was. I think he was
Did he
with
have
that
a
lady.
he was he
I think he
or
was with
was
that
it
lady in college.
so
I,
when
I feel
he
like that's
came? So I don't know what his life like that. I don't know what his life is like now, but I would think like when he came to in the forefront of a lot of like black women, I he already came taken, so to speak,
true.
right? Let's just say if
They
it was
ain't never
not.
stopped nobody
Let's just
before.
say he wasn't married. Let's just say it was his girlfriend, his fiance at the time. It was already taken. And when you show up to the scene with a certain type of women, black people,
Immediately turned
period,
off.
or
You
me,
do
not gonna say media
do
turn off,
that.
but like they're gonna be like, oh, I know what time he's on, right? Or I think
He
I
don't,
know
he
what
doesn't
time
like
he's
my
on.
type. I'm not his
He's
type.
not my type. He's not my lane. I'm not looking
And
at
I
this
yeah,
man.
and
He's
I'm
not
not
looking
his
for me,
type.
and I'm not looking for
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
right? He's not my judge, right?
Right.
And so I think because I feel like when I was introduced to this man, when he came into my visibility, was he was married to his prior wife, and I saw him. I was like, okay, he's that type of dude. It's not necessarily somebody that's looking for me, right? I don't know. And that could have like very well made black women just turn their head and go on to the next. Right. And I don't know what the time period was when he got divorced from his wife and he was back on the scene and then he seen Sierra and I don't know what that time period was. But the fact that they were in proximity in the entertainment space allowed them to see each other.
Right.
It just did. Just the same way it allowed, Future to see her and her to see Future, right? They were in the
Yeah.
same from Atlanta. They, you know what I mean? It just allowed that, right? I don't know.
Let's see what they saying in the chat. My sexiest strong says, make sure y'all hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. The David Carmina Show. He has entered the building. He says, hi, ladies. He gives us a
Hey,
single rose
David.
each. He's so sweet. Thank you, David. And welcome to the My Unsolicited Opinion podcast. Thane Mither. He says, sup, familia. The David Carmina Show. Let's get down here a little bit. Thane says, Lori Harvey is a terrible example. Shaking my head. A
A
terrible
terrible example of
example.
what?
And she was beautiful.
He,
She's a
We
why we
now
terrible
can't
we not
use her
gonna
example.
thing?
disagree on that.
Why we can't use her thing? Lori Harvey, I mean, she has had options. There are men that probably wanted her that she didn't want, and that wasn't her fault. I mean, I don't know. Let's see why you disagree, thing. Drop it in the chat. Keep it active in the chat.
Okay.
And Thang said this topic has him giving the side eye. He gave 3 sets of side eye. He gave one for Joy, one for Ty, and one for yours truly. We all get the side eye now with y'all. What time we on?
Well,
We on some real time. We trying to really like, we trying to put some eyes on the invisible man. He needs opportunity to, be brought up to the forefront. I think. Let's bring him up. Modern women meets the invisible man. Thane Mither says Elon Musk is corny. He is corny in air quotes. He is
I
corny,
think he's
but
corny
he
with
gets
money,
women. He got like a lot of kids too, I
and he
think.
does.
So he's not missing
And
out.
guess who he not checking for? Moi. So I don't care.
David says
like
when
I,
when I said I don't like men cooking for me, he says, "And Allen, you have never tasted my etouffee." Now I'm gonna tell you, after last stream, it's certain dishes that I will accept from men. They could boil some
that's one
crawfish.
of them.
They could get on the grill. Yeah, I take some etouffee and I will take some gumbo. Now if they making that, I take that. But if you here trying to bake some chicken, doing some stuff like that, like I ain't gonna fool with them. I'm be like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna just go ahead and drink me a little water and mind my business. David says Ty has these men running.
Do I?
Running where?
Running
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 to
why?
or
away or
from?
running to her.
To
It
or
looks like
fro?
they running to her. I can't tell from the
Okay.
emoji. David says, Ty, if she fine enough, who? Who? Y'all laugh in this chat. I don't know what they talk about. He says, these ladies are cat. We are not cat.
Oh,
We
the
come here.
project chick, the hood rat chick. If she fine enough, here, but
We know.
he said that they be asking him to pay for the nails
And the
and what he said,
babysitters.
and the
Uh-huh.
babysitters and stuff like that.
And
David, I
don't
don't
you
know
cap
why
and say
you
you just
are
seen.
dibbling and dabbling in the projects, but I mean that's your thing. I don't wanna stop you from getting to what you want. Getting on the they can get on the program quick, maybe.
Ty, David on you tonight, Ty. You are the chosen one
No,
tonight. He says, is this A dogs only apply type of girl? A dog,
A dogs
O dog,
only.
all them. David
You
say
talking about
Elon has a
Alphabet?
$1 billion swag. Is that from Don't Be a Menace to Society or something?
Oh,
I don't
dog.
know.
Yeah.
That's old dog.
Menace
He
to
says
society.
Bill Gates is corny, Jeff Bezos is corny. Some of us
Oh,
like
I
corny.
mean, it's
They have put themselves in a corny box, I think.
You think
A lot
you
of
think they
times
fine, Joy?
fine. I said that's fine.
Oh, that's
if
fine.
they
Cause I
corny,
didn't
if
think.
they if they corny though, it's like that's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Is that one?
Yes,
It's like if you corny, I might think it's funny. I might think it's cute. Somebody else might think it's
right.
corny. Who knows? Y'all need to everybody. Let's take a moment to reassess who's in here, who's in the mirror, and then you're like, okay, can I get them? I want Giselle, but you got to be Tom Brady to get
Tom
Giselle.
Okay.
Brady wasn't even Tom Brady. Now hold on. Tom Brady wasn't even Tom Brady when he came out. Have y'all seen him? His
You
glow up
you
was
know we forget.
real.
I forget that Joy is the football. She's
Oh,
Yes.
the football fanatic. She will tell. She will let you know, baby. I don't know what Tom Brady looked like when he
Tom Brady wasn't
came
even
out.
Tom. I'm talking about his athleticism, his body.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing about him was Tom Brady today.
He was like 16
Nothing.
round, back
but
up to his boy.
he was holding it with just one hand though. You remember that? You seen that picture?
He was a little overweight.
Remember he got
Yeah, got
he
caught
got
up.
I don't want to say he got dragged, but when he had that picture, he's sitting on the bed just holding it with one hand, and a lot of people
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
was like
He looked like
just
a
one hand,
statue though. He looked statuesque though.
like the
The
statue of
rest of
David
them.
or something.
Yeah, one of them.
But it was just the one David could only hold it. That statue was like not
So,
David,
but the
not
point is, he
David
had to
Carmina. So I'm
glow
talking about
up
the
to get
statue was real big.
Giselle. He had to glow up first.
Yeah,
Well, the
sometimes you gotta
invisible
compensate
man.
in other ways.
The invisible man needs to have some patience. Oh, I remember growing up. I was like, well, I was like in high school and college. I'm like, man, when the boys gonna start looking like that? Like that now. When I was in high school, the boys in high school at high school, they look good. Okay, they look like some grown men. They were 6 feet, and they some of them was like looking like like they supposed to be looking. But I was like, my mama say when they turn 35, like that's when they gonna come into their own. They gonna look like grown men. They ain't gonna be slim fine. They got their grown man size on them and they grown man attitude. But yeah, 35. That's what she said. So I'm like, okay.
Do Do y'all remember the Jenny Jones show back in the day when she used to do like the glow ups? When
Yes.
people would come back and bring like their high school, like the high school friends
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yes.
and like try to show them like how they just, they just glue. I said glue up.
All this sexy now. They stripper
Their
looking
little
like I ain't
glow up
fat
and
no
how
more.
they,
Yeah.
right? And I used to see that all the time as a child, and I used to just be like, okay. And sometimes they did not get the response that they were looking for,
They
right?
didn't.
Sometimes it was
And they would
like,
get so
I just
mad.
wanted you to apologize. They come in with the brace face. They got the headset with the braces. You know what I'm saying? They got the rubber bands attached all over the place. And now they coming back and they got like, they
Veneers.
had a whole glow up. And I used to always be like, those people really take that stuff with them like for their whole entire lives. And I've always tried not to be the bully or anything like that in school, right? I never wanted to like be a bully. I've always wanted to like just, it was a guy I used to in school. I've known him since like the fourth grade, and it was fourth grade, and he used to draw like comic books, and I like to draw too. But I know a lot of people used to tease him. He used to wear the high water pants. He had the glasses, and a lot of people used to talk about him, but they never really. He just kind of like stayed in his own lane. He wasn't like beat up or anything, but he didn't have like too many friends. As we got a little bit older, he was still that kind of guy, and then got in high school. Of course, he found his niche of people, but we were always I used to always like reading the comics that he would draw. He drew his own comics. We had a something something year anniversary, high school anniversary, or we got reunion. What year is this, y'all?
This is 20.
In 2021,
Wait.
and and I went back and to the reunion, and I saw him, and he brought me like his old comic books, like for me, because I always like used to always want to read. I'm talking about when I was a little kid. I'd be like, oh, let me see what you drew and stuff like that. And he brought them like back for me. And now I see him as a grown man, and he's still someone I probably wouldn't necessarily like want to be with like that. But he just all like I just liked like his talent, you know what I mean? Like his mind. And I always was intrigued about, and he remembered that and brought that back to the high school reunion, girl. And I was like, for real? And he
Is
brought
his name Aaron Magruder?
no.
I just knew that's where the story was going. I was like, and that
No.
boy.
But what I'm saying is he didn't get a lot of like he didn't get a lot of women, but I'm sure now he's had some, but he's just when I think about the invisible man, he was never invisible to me. He was invisible to a lot of people, but he was visible to me not because I wanted to like be his girlfriend, not because I was like attracted to him like that, but I just liked his talent. And when I say he grew up, it's like now it looks like the anime stuff. He draws that kind of stuff now, right? But he was never invisible. He just wasn't, my type. He wasn't my type, but he was in my lane when it came to that kind of stuff. because I used to like comic book. Y'all know I'm a good at. I'm like a tomboy, so I play basketball. Like
Me
I
too.
play basketball. Like I used to
Or
dunk on them.
you wasn't dunking time. You was crossing them over. I was crossing them over. Our Norman, he says, "Good evening, ladies. Welcome, our Norman." He says, "Money can't uncorn you.
Nope.
You just become a corn with money."
Correct.
And that's it. And some people are going to
Correct.
like that. And, maybe this is a self esteem motivation type stream. Who even knew that it was going to turn into that? If you're invisible, that's okay. You feel like that when it comes to this certain group, but you just keep moving around till you find your space where you wanted.
Hmm.
And stop trying to be. I wouldn't want to be around people that didn't want me anyway. That's how I feel. But if I'm invisible to you, you don't see me, guess what? I don't see you. And I ain't trying to be seen by you. And that's what, we got to
That's
get this.
where it
It's in
comes from,
here. It's
girl.
in here. It's in
I'm
here.
telling you, that's where it comes from. It's when the
Yeah.
person that you want does not want you. That's where that comes from. Like, cause
We got to.
I see people that I don't want all the time, but they are the shiz naive in their lane,
Yeah.
right? And they have a confidence about them in their lane. They have all of this about them in their lane, but I think they are like not my type.
What is Google me
And I ain't even
talking
trying to
about?
play.
He says Channing and his nudist escapades could be considered corny. Who is Channing?
Channing
The
Crowder.
Channing
Shout out
Crowder.
to Asia Crowder. She graduated from Howard. That's his
Issue.
wife.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
she is
Okay.
absolutely stunning. Now, he has told stories on the pivot and on I Am Athlete how nobody was checking for him until he said he said it was a story about him getting a check or something like that. And he went to the bank a few times. He said before they got their big payday, I think like right before the season got started, they got a little baby check. And he said that it was a real bad red bone. This is his story. He said that he was like, no, she gonna see me today. And he took his first, I think it might have been his bonus check or his first for real check, took it to the bank, waited specifically for her as a teller. And he said he slid that thing, and then she was like, "How you doing, Mr. Crowder?" Whole different
Wow.
attitude. Whole
That's
different
sad.
attitude. He said, and he banged her, and he sent on her way. But the point of the story was, yeah, y'all right. Well, nobody checking for him. He probably was kind of corny, but he's funny now. He has a great personality. But he did something to get that wife.
But he has more confidence though. I think a lot of it too with
Yeah.
these men. They are more confident in themselves when they look a certain way or when they make enough money. Cause it's like you could be dating a guy all in college and then he's like, after college, I gotta get myself together. He don't want to get married for whatever reason. He's like, I'm trying to get into my career. I'm trying to work my way up. He's not where he wants to be. And I think that, we can't forget about that. The men can't forget about that when they say the women are overlooking these guys. But a lot of times the men are not where they want to be in order to be with the woman, long term or whatever the case. In my opinion, I don't know if y'all will agree or not, but a lot of times it's
Let me. I would
I
say
think that's
somebody who has money. If I was to name a celebrity that you know is corny and has money and is not anyone that I like attracted to just because they have money, it would be Nick Cannon. Never did I feel like he was somebody I was attracted to.
he
Like
is.
he
I
just
was
was
gonna say
not.
Marlon Wayans too, but he kind of
Oh
he
no, no,
getting
I like
fine to me.
Marlon.
He done got real fine. He used
No,
to
I
be too
like
skinny
Marlon.
at first,
I
but
couldn't even.
now he look fine.
I, I like him. I like Marlon. I can't even say, but I would say Nick Cannon. He's just been
Yeah.
like to me. He's just been he's been quote unquote what people would call like corny, right? And I just never been even when he was on all that. Maybe I felt like I was a little bit too old for all that when he was on there. And then when he was in the movies, he even did a movie about like being a corny guy and then like wanting the girl
Yeah.
of his dreams and
It
getting
remade.
money and you know what I mean, all of that up until now with the 5011 baby mamas, he is still the same Nick Cannon to me. Even on
Yep.
the Wild and Out show, I felt like I'm like you are like
I hear
is
you.
corny. I couldn't even watch that show like that because I felt like it was just like corny, right?
He's the epitome of it. To me, he's top tier corn ball,
But
and I don't care what he had.
Top
Yeah,
but
cornball.
that man knows his lane,
he
and
does.
all of his baby mothers look the same except for one. All of them look the exact same. They are, I guess they're okay, except for like I said for one, maybe two, because Mariah, she's in a different tier. I'm pretty sure if he wasn't a kid, Mariah probably wasn't going to see him, right? She just probably wasn't going to see him. But he knows his lane. He sticks to it. He is banging out his lane. No pun intended.
He's doing it. He's literally doing it, knocking them down. Which David says, yes, we would. They have money in common. Who got money in common? Talking about Sierra or the who? I be forgetting. Thing
Sierra
says,
and Russell.
funny how all the men being run to now, corny or not, have had some financial trajectory after chasing after dealing uh, with thugs and scammers. The women are not. Y'all think all the women
I don't
dealing
think
with
that's
thugs
fair
and
to say that.
scammers?
No, I don't
No,
like
I don't
that.
think
I
so.
don't think that's fair to say that because I hear that way too often as this made up story, whatever story is that men tell themselves to make themselves feel better. That's not true. Women don't just be like, oh, let me waste 10 years of my life away on men that's not going anywhere in life, and then suddenly the light bulb comes on. They're like, oh, I'm gonna do a U-turn. Like you're attracted to whoever you're attracted to at a particular point in your life. Those two things are completely different. We were talking about that and the evolution of that on the I think the last podcast that we had.
Hmm.
Like it's just a natural thing. Like I just don't like this idea that people are telling themselves these stories like, oh, you only talking to me now because that thug, you got three babies with three men and that thug. Like, no, that's not it at all. I just think that you like what you like when you like it. Now, to your point though, I do want to ask this question. Are we socially conditioned to what corny is, particularly black women? Because I mean, we do love a thug now. I do. I like a little rough, a little, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Like a
and you
little
feel like
roughneck.
you can fight. Like, I'm serious. Like, I didn't even know you
Here
could
you go with
fight.
this fight
You
stuff
know,
again.
I'm just
Speaking
saying,
of
like,
fight,
I like that. You know what I'm like? My
I
mouth
just
kind of
need.
slick. I just, like, calm me down. And I'm wondering though, like, is that a thing? Like this idea of corny, is that something that we've created or that the hip hop culture has created that makes us like, oh no, I can't talk to him because I don't his shoes don't match his belt or his he's wearing Fat Farm in 2023. Like what is that? Now see how y'all just like
that might be us. That might be me. He don't
He
need to be
can't wear
wearing
fat
that.
bar.
But guess what?
He
Guess what
wearing
though?
that.
Guess what though? It's they. I don't know. I find out he's wearing that when I'm getting ready to go out on a date with him. Cause I have given him a chance.
And
Now
his
if he come
starch
out here with a full
jeans.
basketball uniform on, I'm like, dang, we gotta go. But I give him a chance. I don't know that until we going
It
out.
says T. What? TLA's in the chat.
This is the lead attorney. Hope you guys are doing well. He says, yes, they are invisible. He's the man that helped coin the phrase with us. That is until they get money and clout. They got to get money and clout. No, they don't.
They are. This is what I'm saying. They're not invisible. They're only invisible to the women that are not attracted to them. That
Right.
is just it. It's too many women
And
out
they need
here
to
in
get in
this
their
world.
lane.
It is way too many. Y'all say it all the time. Women outnumber men. It's way too many in this world for women to not want the type of man that you are. It's just way too many of us.
It is. They
And
need to choose for the ones that want them.
that's the thing. Black women outnumber black men. That means there's a surplus of women. So that means that there's someone for every black man. But y'all want them all. That's the problem. And sometimes you want women who aren't attracted to you for whatever reason they're not. Maybe you don't have enough money. Maybe you don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't look good to them. Maybe you are corny to them. But there's a woman out there.
Maybe you can't fight.
Maybe you can't maybe you can't fight, right? But there's a woman out there. I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of women out there who like who like who you are.
Yeah.
Why are you playing in the field where the women don't like you? Where they're turning their nose up at you? Whether they're like, oh, she think I'm corny because I get good grades. why you over there? There's some women that think you are the bomb. I told you I love a good man that that gets an A on his chemistry test. That is exciting to me. Right? I'm like,
Me
But
whoo.
see,
too.
that kind of goes back to what I was saying before. I did not grow up socially conditioned to be running after the engineers. I was never over at McNair Hall looking for the chemical engineers or the electrical
Oh, I
engineers.
was.
I wasn't, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm really reflecting and thinking this idea of a cornball or somebody who's lame. Like, where did we get that from? Because it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Right. When
Mhm.
we initially started this and we're talking about, well, what kind of man you want? And I was like, I want somebody to be my friend. I want somebody who can make me laugh. I want somebody that's a good personality, all of that. But where in this on this continuum of you're the nice guy, you might or might not be attractive. Where do we get you're corny, you're lame? Like, where does that idea come from?
I think everybody has a preference. And if you're outside their preference, that is, we label lame, corny, or whatever. It's certain groups of people. We can't just say, oh, only black women or black people use the word lame, corny, whatever. It may be called something else in someone else's culture, right? Whatever it is, I'm lame to some people. I'm corny to some people. Sometimes I like to be a little corny, right? But it is what it is, right? I might be called something else to to another from another culture's perspective. I think that there's a lame or a corny person within everybody's culture. I don't want to say it's only black people say lame and corny. What we deem as lame and corny may be different from other people and from other cultures, but there's still that sector of people that people in within that culture don't necessarily like. I don't know. I mean, I like them like I said. I like the when I was in fourth grade. The guy that was drawing the comic books that everybody wasn't talking to with the glasses, I liked him not like that, but I liked being in his company. He was my friend, right? But that was just it. When it came to like dating, that's a little bit different. So maybe a lot of different, but like that's what I like. And the thing about it was that type of person liked me too.
I think I'm gonna agree with Joy though. It's kind of like it's like how you it matters how you grow up too, like who you around, what the environment is. As a teacher's child, and I'm around all the other teachers' kids, I like smart men and smart people. They're gonna be winning the spelling bees and all of that. I like that. So, um, this cornball, this corny lame type thing. I don't always equate it with intelligence. Now I might be like looking at how you're dressing, but I'm also gonna be trying to style you up, now. But I don't really think like, nerds and cornballs are just like the smart guys, or even like, the Michael B. Jordans of the world. I think he was still being a little sensitive though. Because people like are gonna joke on you as a child, but you got to be able to receive it. But I think that it is a matter of preference though still, but I think it's about how you frame it. Like, who do you think is a cornball? It doesn't necessarily have to be,
Right.
yeah,
I
just
think
this
Future's a
person that's
cornball. I feel like Future is a cornball. Like I never wasn't.
he is.
He just wasn't. And now, granted, I'm a grown woman when he came upon the scene and all of that. But I don't feel like he was never somebody like, oh, I got to get with Future. I thought he was corny. I thought the music was corny. Like I mean, to an
Musicians, period,
extent.
are
Yeah.
technically kind of corny. You got to be a different type of person to be like a musical genius, right? Like
Right.
You think he's a musical genius?
They
I'm
think differently, the
yeah, I'm
musicians and those people. I
overall,
think so
musicians
too.
are they're different by nature.
They
They're
I think
very,
so.
very artists are very different by nature. They always kind of painting outside of the lines, coloring outside of the lines
A
in the way
beautiful
that they
mind.
express themselves, their
Girl,
clothes,
I'm an
everything
artist
about them.
at heart. I used to rap. Listen, when he made the
Go ahead,
song
Go, hold on, wait, wait.
Another Day,
Go
Another
ahead.
Time, The Day of
Let's
a
bring up. Can we
Time.
bring up like
Is that what you want to do? But what I'm saying is, when I saw how he spelled voila magic,
Voila.
y'all remember that song? When I
Voila.
saw how he
Magic.
spelled the title to that song, I was immediately like, I can't believe y'all even sitting here looking at this. Now, I'm
Voila.
not gonna say if I'm out and I mean, some he got some bops. I'm not even gonna sit here and like take away from that man's whatever, right? But I will tell you this: if there was, he's just like the guy that did the comic books. As soon as he said, as soon as I saw the way that was spelled and the way it was pronounced, I was over it. I was over it. Voila, voila.
To the lead attorney says, Thang Miller. I was invisible in high school, basically. Then when I graduated from law school, they all wanted me to take out. He always come with the extra. Take him out. You take it out for that moose,
But
or
hold up
did
though,
you?
didn't TLA say he was getting bused to a school with
Across town.
across town with a lot of non-melanated people, and so those are people that
You know
ignored
they that's what they
UTLA.
say about him.
Russell Wilson's first wife.
That's what they say
Those
about
type of
him. A
people.
certain YouTuber always said he with this smooth. Is it
Maybe
true
he
or
should have
not?
stayed. Maybe he should
He
have
can't.
stayed
He
in
back over
Decatur.
here. I guess he back over here. That's what he
Decatur
say.
where it's greater.
That's the
He
story he
might have
put
got
out.
it because I saw the listen. He tried to get on me, but I saw the hot top fade.
We did. I saw that too. I saw it too. He trying to come back over here to the right side. The lead attorney 15 years later, they all pulled up. Did they?
Yeah, when you grow
You was
up.
you probably was always tall, so y'all act like that's gonna get you in anyway. We're gonna drop the link.
Yeah,
Are we
I
gonna
think
drop the
that's
link?
what.
Are we gonna drop that link tonight?
Yeah, we gonna drop it. You want to drop it? But
Oh, we
here's the
gonna.
thing. That's what happens. People mature. Like it just happens. I don't want the same little boy that I thought was cute with the bubble gum in the sandbox. I don't want like you gotta come. You gotta do a little bit more than that. You know what I mean? Like you just have to be a little bit more than it. They want you as the. They want you to want them as the snotty nosed little Roscoe kid in the sandbox. Like, why you didn't like me then? Well, because you was snotty nose and you had all you had was like bubble gum and you kept like punching my arm.
They be grown men, they still relate to the little boy that was invisible. It's like we see you. We see you. Okay? We see y'all. David say the lead got the nails covered. Okay, lead doing the nails, David doing what? What you paying for, David? You already said it. The hair and the babysitter.
That's right. In the sitter.
Yes. And the babysitter. Yep. David say, yep. You talking to us? You talking to Thane? I'm gonna say you talking to us. You paying for the babysitter and the hair and the lead got the nails. The lead says, what? If they could actually see my crypto portfolio, then they tell me to put it back on. Oh, you out here.
Oh, he broke. He broke,
We
broke.
thinking you're a high value trap star. You out here,
Lying.
being the phony out here. Don't be lying. He said hashtag lie to these women. He be lying to these
If they
women.
see my crypto portfolio, they be like, no, not her.
If they see mine, they be like, she ain't even got now.
First of all, no, pull that one back up. No,
What
pull
did
it
he
back
say?
up.
David. He always gotta get a little spicy. Get a little
He
spicy.
said he need two hands.
I need to. Okay. All right, David. We be what
David.
time is it? It gotta be a certain time we start saying stuff like that. Now, is it okay?
Yeah. Why you
That's
talking
just
about
too
that?
much.
I was just saying that's what they were saying on the internet about him only needing the one hand. And here you go talking about all hands on deck.
Don't get it confused. He said he two hands. Two. You see
Double
it.
fisted.
We're gonna put it up one more time
I'll
for
take your
those in the
word
back
for
that
it.
didn't see it. Where is it? Here you go. If you didn't see it and you was in the back, here you go. Shoot your shot. He
Nah.
available.
Oh
He
yeah.
available. He says like and subscribe. Let's subscribe to these ladies. Let's get it to 100% engagement. Everybody in the chat, hit the like button. Hit the like button.
We got
Subscribe.
somebody in the back, y'all.
Uh oh.
Who we
Go ahead.
have
You
in the
got it.
back? All right, all right.
It
Are
look
you
like
ready?
somebody really important.
What does Batman have to do?
Hmm?
Did I
This
miss, what Batman have to do with anything? Did I miss it? He said something about
oh, do
Batman.
I said we have someone in the back.
No, I saw
Oh,
David said something about Batman. I was like, hold on, I must have missed something. But okay, go ahead, go ahead. Hey, thing.
we got
Uh-oh,
How are
Mr.
you
uh-oh.
wonderful
Game
ladies
Mint
doing?
in the house. Hi, thing.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you
Yes.
wonderful ladies doing?
Oh, you gotta come through with the deep
Welcome.
voice.
First of all, I'm going to
Yes.
appreciate the fact that you're color coordinated like last time. I noticed these things.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, since y'all are bringing these spicy topics, this one irks me, and I've pulled up.
Okay.
So
Let,
tell
Men
me why. What's
generally,
going
there's a
on?
lot of cap going on in this
well,
commentary
let
today.
before you start thing and apologize for cutting you off.
Go ahead.
Let's start with the topic. Do you think there's such thing as an invisible man? And if so, like who is he? And tell us why you are irked.
I know so. Live that
Okay.
life. I'm a man. We're all
Mm-hmm.
invisible at some point to certain women. There is no ifs and or buts. Even now, as an adult, I do know for a fact that there are men women will never look at. But the funny thing, so to answer your question, yes.
Okay. You
Um,
okay? You think there's a man that no woman would like? He has no lane because no one is attracted to him.
let's go with a simple mind exercise. And this is to you ladies. Just let's do some introspection. On a daily basis, you interact when you're walking in this world with thousands of people, overtly or covertly, physically or just via when you're passing by. There are men who you see, but you do not see. They do not register because they're just not what would attract you. For instance, if you're walking to the gas station or you're pumping your gas and you're paying the gas station attendant, that guy you wouldn't care to remember his name even though you saw his name tag.
Right.
Yeah.
That is what we're talking about being invisible. You see a person, you see them. And unless they're outstanding, unless that a gas attendant is, I don't know, some handsome dude who attracts you, you wouldn't necessarily recognize the guy. The guy who picks up your garbage when they're coming on trash day, you'll say hi, maybe you know him, but doesn't register. Those are the so-called invisible men. The guys who are grinding, who are working, who are not necessarily loud, who are not necessarily uh, dressing a certain way, being flashy a certain way, um, who are just focusing on what they need to get done. Those men generally do not get looked at or do not get attention paid to them by a large part of the female population. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong by it, but I kind of find it a little bit ironical. And I'll get into that in a little bit.
So did he hang up?
Probably just
I
didn't
didn't.
hear.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. And so here's my question. So I guess my little bit of pushback, my little is that there are yes, there are men who women may overlook, but that doesn't mean that they are invisible to all women, right? And so yes, you're exactly right. If I go to the gas station, I mean, I don't normally go inside and pay, but if I was to go inside and pay and give my money to whoever's behind the register, no, I'm not, because I'm not going there looking for that, right? And unless he made some type of advance at me or, said something that, sparked my interest, I would have paid my money, walked out, and went about my business. But I feel like that's common for just people in general in life. If I'm to go everywhere and be attracted to all types of men, then I mean I don't even know how I could like even function if like, ooh, him. So I agree. Yes, I think that's just you're attracted to what you're attracted to. You could be driving down the street and you'll see a woman walking down the street, maybe standing at the bus stop, maybe whatever. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you're attracted to her either, and she's just background ambiance, you know, for you. I don't think that I am attractive to probably like 99.9999999% of men in this world, but there's a few that I know like me, and I like them, and so that's where I focus my attention to. And I feel like a lot of times when people think they're invisible is when they're looking for something outside of what they are attracting. It's like you're so busy focused on, and you see the tropes, you see the movies, you see all of that, but this happens in real life as well. You're so busy focused on getting, this type of person, where the person that really wants you, you're overlooking. And you guys could be like on the, he or she could be right there with you, and then can be the. I mean, even Mama Bear Moment said it last. Mama Bear illustration, is that Mama Bear Moments?
Yes.
But even she said it. She said she was overlooked by a lot of men, a lot of black men. I mean, she pointed out that, but she was overlooked by a lot of men because of maybe they thought she didn't have But she say 280 or two. What you got 180 to
Some
play? Something to the effect, right? She just wasn't. They weren't attracted to her for some type of reason, but she went. She found her lane. She went in that lane, and she found her husband, and now that they've been together. So that's what I'm saying. I guess my only thing is being a know who you are. Like, look in the mirror. Like, who am I? Am I this person I want to be? Is this who I want to be? If not, then make your adjustments as needed, right? As long as they're within who you are, and then present yourself. But then just know what that attracts, right? If I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a thug, I'm this and or whatever, I'm that. I know what kind of attention that's gonna attract, right? If I'm a nerd, a geek, or whatever, I know what kind of people like nerds, geeks, or whatever. They probably like the same type of people. That's all. That's all I'm saying. But I don't disagree with there are people being overlooked. Yeah, I think so.
I absolutely love your counterpoint, and let me just break through it.
Hmm.
I've listened very carefully, and I enjoy this. Your sentiments are valid, no criticism there. But this has spoken for the point of privilege of being a woman. As women, you have the privilege of sitting back and waiting for men to check up on you. As women, from the day you are born, you do not have the mentality, unless you're a modern woman, and that's special, chasing around men, going around trying to seek a man, running around like a lot of the modern women today. That privilege of having men always wanting to court you, and I guarantee you, as Ty, you're being modest and you're saying that there are men who you wouldn't be attractive to. I guarantee you, any man you come across will notice you. Maybe not be attracted to you, but they will notice. Any day I walk out, I can tell you how many women I saw, how many were pretty, how many I classified as average, how many I didn't want to deal with or be around, etc., etc., etc. Men do that consciously because we have to go out to seek to find. That is not the point of privilege that men have, that women sit back and just chill. And of course, you have the plethora of men, and like you just pointed out, who, if you made it a conscious decision to go seek out men, you would lose your mind or whatever you were saying, which makes sense. That is a point of privilege. The point I was trying to, and you also mentioned Mama Bear saying that there are men who overlooked her. They just did not overlook. They did not pick her. Big difference. Overlooking is not existing, paying attention. Maybe they saw her, evaluated her, and decided to go a different path. That is not overlooking. Overlooking is somebody visibly being there but not existing to you. Now, um, when we talk about invisibility, and what I was saying, I find it ironical, just to finalize my thought, is it is hilarious as human beings. We're all bilaterally symmetrical. We all were born. It is about ego.
I can agree.
I find it hilarious, and I see this a lot, where there are a lot of people who think they're better than others just because of financial status, etc. And the problem with this disease is I see a lot, and I'm not just blaming women. It occurs on both sides, but predominantly women, because women tend to be hypergamous. Is you sit there and you act like you're better than, let's say, 80% of the unseen men. And when we evaluate you, not just from a looks perspective, from a fiduciary perspective and a character perspective, you are found wanting. Where does that ego come from to where you think you're better than the average man who's probably a good person, a hard worker, uh, could potentially be the best father in the world? That's the problem I have with that. And it's not a story that men are saying it's just a cope that we're saying men are invisible. Every last man I know who's successful, that I personally know, has that story. We use it as fuel. Most men who are good. And I didn't have problems getting chicks back in the day. I'm the kind of dude who I used to
I'm
play a
sure.
lot. I used to, I used to deal with the gutter. I love me my gutter women back then. So,
Wild thing.
no, for real. When you're broke,
Right.
a chick who can hold it down, some of the smartest people I know, some of the
Yeah.
realest people I know who are still in my life today, I knew from back then. When
Mm-hmm.
I had nothing, when I had nothing going for me, those are people you keep in your corner. Um, it is hilarious, like I was saying. You have these prejudgments by people with ego countertwined that you start thinking you're better than another person. And I'm saying, no, 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 no. That shouldn't change you as a character. Build your character first, like you were saying, Ty. Look at yourself in the mirror, be modest, and move accordingly. Good things come your way that way. I'm a firm believer in that. It's all about ego in this day and age. I cannot do this, I cannot do that. And that's why I put in chat. 15 years later, I've had so many women. It's like clockwork. It's a running joke among the boys. 15 years later, hey Thane, what's up? I'm with the boys. Look at another one. Just like that. Like clockwork. Hey Thane, I heard this, that, blah, then the other. Why now?
What do you think was the difference between? I know you said you've always been, the well has never really been dry for you, but just from the example you made, what do you think the difference was between, back then and 15 years later to now?
Very good question. The difference is I didn't know how to act back then. I used to chase the prettiest, the messiest, the most dramaful because it was exciting to me back then. I was a young boy.
Mm-hmm. They love the women that's gonna bust the windows out the
He
car.
said it. He
Yeah,
said it like
I,
I
that.
know. I
um,
knew I wasn't right. They love it.
I
Mm.
used back then. I was still young. The drama was exciting for me, so I dealt with all the mess, all of it. And then 15 years later, when I have a lot to lose, I don't have time for that mess. I look at things very differently. Character means a lot more to me than looks, etc. And things you bring to the table that are actually just not that. So that's the difference between then. Back then, I would think I was acting ignorant. These days, I'm a little bit more mature.
So here's the other question. So do you think there back then there were women who probably, maybe wanted you and you didn't necessarily see because like you said, you always the well never ran dry, but you were looking for a specific type and they weren't that type. And now that you're a little bit more mature, you've evolved a little bit, you don't want any of that. Now you're starting to face, now you're starting to shift your focus to a different type of woman, or do you think nope, they all want, I'm not saying that you're trying to be, conceited or anything like that, but you think that all types of women wanted you, you just wanted this type. Is that the thing? Is that
There
what
were a lot of women who I definitely did not want even back then, but I saw them. We had interactions, we talked, etc., etc., etc. You're not just gonna take up any woman who walks into your space. Um, and of course, there are women, of course, who didn't see me. The point is that back then there's a certain type of woman I chase, and I've always been one who shoot for the moon so that I can land on Earth.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm a person who loves climbing mountains,
Right.
Right.
so
Mm-hmm.
so I
I
was a
got you.
go-getter. I'll always shoot high, and where I land, I was still comfortable with.
So let me ask one question then. Um, the whole overall theme is that men see all women, whether they decide to, pursue something with them or not. But there are literally men that we do not see. And I can really I can like, that resonates with me because, being married, like I really like did not see people like for a long time. I would like couldn't even tell you if this man was good looking, if he was smart, if he was talking, whatever. I would like literally not see him.
Or even when
But
you introduce yourself and they like, we met before, like we did.
I'm like, I don't even, yeah, so I could, but that's kind of like,
If you're going to do that, that's the point I'm making exactly.
that's
Is
what,
a man
okay.
will see you, and he'll
Yeah.
take notes, and he'll put it in the back of his head. But for you, doesn't register. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Okay, so what do y'all suggest then? What do we need to do? We need to take the blinders off and we need to, what, engage with these gentlemen or what?
Now, for the ones in relationships, that's irrelevant. But the whole point about of being modest is just walk around acknowledging people.
Yeah.
A person does not have to have any value to you to value them. And knowing this world being round and karma being a real thing I believe in, you want to move around knowing that how you interact with people could have blessings in the future. There are people I've dealt with in the past who are still in my future because I did not know that a simple hello and an interaction then would pay me tenfold in the future. Move around that way. Just acknowledge people, say hi. You never know what's going on in their day. A small smile, a small gesture could pay dividends in the future. And you're not doing that just for the sake of some whatever future benefit. It's just that deep down, when you go to bed and sleep at night, you have a clean and free conscience.
No,
That's
I
all I
agree.
had to say. So I'm gonna pull out.
Thank you, Zane. I appreciate that, and I agree with that sentiment. I mean, just for everyone, just to treat people with kindness, treat people with respect, even if they're the garbage man or whatever. I mean, I don't even want to use the garbage man as an example because I value them. I mean,
Yeah.
I do. I give my tips at Christmas time. I give my tips to like my mailman, my garbage man, just like a little thank you, for doing, especially if I forgot to put my trash out or something like that, and then I put my little message in and they come back and get it. Thank you because you went outside your route. I do that. That's me. I'm not trying to say that I'm just righteous and there's some people who I will definitely cuss out if I have to. But but I worked in fast food before, so I know how those people get treated. I don't want to say I've been at the bottom, but I felt like I've been in positions where people could take advantage of you if they want to take advantage of you. If everyone moves like that, but even moving like that, even moving righteously, you're not going to be able to see everybody. And I think you have a point there, right? Where women are chased and men are the hunters, and so it's there is a perspective there, but I think there's invisible people, especially if you want to be chased, right? Like nothing worse than playing hide and go get it, and it's a girl like this just out. Like you ain't gotta find me, I'm right here, right? You be like, girl, that's not even the point of the game. You ain't never played that.
Yeah.
None of y'all ever play hide and go get
I've
it.
heard of it, but I never got it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, before I
I guess
disappear, before
I
I
had
go
one more
go,
thing to ask you.
one more
Thing.
thing if I could interject.
sure.
There's one statistic I want to leave you with. According to Mark Creedlaw of ESPN.com, the divorce rate among all professional athletes is estimated to be between 60 and 80%.
We
That's typical of these high-profile earners in the entertainment space in professional sports. However, aren't they some of the most sought-out men?
Yeah, they are. I will say they are. They're part of that 10-20% of men that,
For the
so,
money.
huh?
So now, what does that say about women who gravitate to these men, knowing those statistics? You're gonna change them? You're the one who's better than the rest of the women who they dealt with?
No, they're making a trade-off. It's a
For
trade.
some, for some, I think they go into it with, oh, I can change him, I can make him whatever. For others, I think they go into it with, I think they all, everyone has their motives for doing that.
Well said, Ty. Everybody has their motives. But here's the thing. If you want a stable relationship, say loving, partner, supportive, all the things most people want, chances are then you have to look yourself in the mirror, like Ty said, and move differently.
True.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't argue with that. I don't want to argue with that. But I think you're right. I mean, if you want something different in your life, then and you're always getting the same thing, then this you need to switch something up. But I also agree with Joy as well, is that a lot of those women make a trade off, right? Whether it's whatever they're trading to be in the grasp of the, you know, the entertainers, the athletes, they make a trade off. I think they know exactly what they're getting into. They know the possibilities, and they're gonna take that chance anyway.
All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me. I'm finna
Thanks,
go be messy back in
Thane.
chat. I love
Thank you
being
so
messy in chat,
much.
so I'm gonna go do my thing there.
Okay. Thank you
All
for
right,
coming
Thane.
up,
Thank you for
thing.
coming up. Thank you.
Uh huh.
I
That was
Oh
wanted to
fun.
man,
I want
That
to
was
say one thing.
what's up?
So I really want to ask him that too. It's like, is there any prejudgment upon the women too? From the men, because it's like, okay, there are men out here we don't see, right? But there are men that, they won't even approach certain women because they have made a judgment about them already.
I
You
was just
know,
ask the same thing. Like,
yeah.
so are you saying there's no such thing as an invisible woman?
I'm wondering, or do they consider them invisible? I don't know. Maybe they would say invisible because they see, evidently
Because
they
they see
see,
them, they just
they
don't want
see
to
it.
approach
They
for
or they
whatever their reason
because
is.
they're like, okay, she thinks this about herself, or she's probably that, making up every excuse in a negative tone to not, shoot their shot at this particular woman because they
But
made it up in their head who they think she is.
But the idea of being invisible, I think, is an internal feeling. I don't
Yeah.
think I can be like, Ty, you're invisible to me. Like, it has to be the way that you move through life in a series of occurrences that you've internalized, like, God, like, I'm really Charlie Brown in life right now. Like, like, nobody sees me. And so, I mean, I think that for a woman to maybe like I think it was a clip that was going around on the internet a few months ago where it was a woman that was talking about how she would be out with her homegirls and she was always the friend that didn't get hollered at. Those
Right.
type of interactions, yeah, you see me and you see the other way, that can make you feel invisible too. So I think that it's possible for it to be a such thing as an invisible woman.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think they're taking what he said, like men do, on, I don't want to say the hunt, but men looking, actively looking for a woman to be with, while women probably kind of, I don't want to say we sit back, but make ourselves available. I think there's invisible on both ends. It's the man that's never got the yes, and there's the woman who's never even got chosen, right? Never even picked, right? So you get a lot of, so the man gets a lot of no's, 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 but there's a woman who doesn't even get like picked. Like she doesn't even get the chance to answer the question.
That's why I
Do
think
you like me? Yes or no?
I.
And
Yes.
those, though they both feel invisible, just like you said, Joy. It's like, every time I go out, my homegirls is, they, men are approaching them, but I'm sitting over here just drinking my drink. Like, so what does the woman do? What did you do? What do you do to be seen? What do you do to be noticed? Right? What is it?
Yes,
Right?
you
Am
know.
I in the right spot? Am I in the right spot? Is this my lane? Like,
You know what you do? You go get a BBL, you go and you get your waist snatched. You go and you get $150 eyelashes. You go and you make yourself larger than life. those women that do that, I am absolutely convinced it is an attention seeking type behavior. Why do you look like a cartoon character? It has to be. It comes from somewhere. It doesn't, it's not because it's the cool thing to do. Because there are some women, they would never do that. Ever. But it
Mm-hmm.
has to be the women that do that and they go, and I'm not talking about a little tweak here or there. I mean like an ungodly proportion that could never naturally happen. It has to be in an attempt to seek someone's attention. You want some sort of verbal acknowledgement, affirmation. Oh, damn, look at her ass. Oh, you want that. Like, you have to want that.
You want the attention.
You have to in order to go out and do those sort of things. So I absolutely think it's an invisible woman. Like, okay, you see her, but it doesn't prohibit the woman from internalizing like the idea of like, okay, well, you didn't pick me, you didn't choose me, you didn't ask me out, you didn't, you know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
you you came to me to ask me to go and get my friend for you. Like you know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
those are the type of things I think will make somebody feel like, dang, nobody see me for real. Let me go get my ass done.
Mr. CKB, he says Miss Boss is gonna get a brother indicted.
Yeah, she want people to fight, girl.
Yes, but let's take a slight pause, guys, for a moment. We want to recognize those who are supporting us in big time, giving us these offerings. Mama Bear Moments, one of our top mods over here on the My Unsolicited Opinion podcast, she's given us a $10 cash out. Thank you so much,
Thank
Mama
you
Thank
Bear.
so much, Mama
you.
Bear.
Yes, you give a little sound
Appreciate
from Mama Bear.
you.
Yes, and thank you for coming through and everybody else tonight. And we also want to recognize the man who was our sponsor of our last stream. We forgot to put our banner up, and we definitely
I
want to
We
know.
recognize
did.
him so big. Mr. Thane Mither, he has given us a $300 cash app.
Thank
Thank
you, thank
you
you, thank you,
so
thank
much,
you.
Thane.
Mwah.
You know,
Thank
our
you.
Thank
channel,
you,
it
Thane.
is
We
just
appreciate
starting
that.
out,
Thank you
and
so much.
you are here, you're supporting us.
Appreciate
You know,
that.
we really appreciate this. It gives us, the motivation to keep this thing going. What you
I'm
got, Ty?
telling
I was gonna
you. I'm
say,
telling you.
and it's all it always happens when when TLA comes up, when David comes up, Thane, some of the guys come up, they come up and they speak from a place of not just experience, but they speak from a place of like just like intelligence, right? It's like we can sit here and we can banter and we can argue and we can make jokes and we can get mad at each other and we can get heated. But when you break it down, we just let's just have the conversation. And I appreciate when they come up and just want to have like the conversation, like, hey, like, see it from this perspective, because I didn't see it from a perspective of men, having to pursue and getting a bunch of no's, and feeling invisible. I saw it from a perspective of, yeah, you get your no's and women get their no's or not picked too. But I think that that does play a role in it. So I appreciate when they come up and they learn me is what I you know what I mean, they learn me up, they teach me something, they
Yes.
you know what I mean, that maybe slightly adjust my perspective. I still say, I say what I say. I'm just gonna say that. But I appreciate you, Thang, for coming up, talking to us, giving us your insight. I
Thank you.
appreciate the blessings that you shared with us this night, as well with the Cash App. Thank you so much for doing that. That was because listen, when I think a man knows what he's talking about, I get.
We all do. We
I
all
mean,
Yeah.
I'm
do.
modern, but I get right, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a certain type of man that can do that. I'm just saying, it's just a certain type of man that's
And
gonna
everybody don't get it.
that, and everybody don't, and everybody does not have it, but there's men that will do that, and in his case, it had nothing to do with money. Like I said, I've heard him speak before when I was just listen to what he has to say. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We do appreciate that a lot. Um,
You want to know how to make a modern woman shut up? Be smart.
That's
that's
all.
it. And articulate yourself. No, I mean because everybody has an opinion, and it's okay to have
Hmm.
differing opinions, but don't attack. people in the midst of your
Wow.
Be
your so-called opinion. Now I ain't even listening to you. You don't matter. Now you invisible for real. Like
Be smart, be intelligent, be that, make your point, make a good point.
yes.
What I got to argue with?
We just gonna be quiet because we
when it
are
comes down
reasonable.
to it, you just agree to disagree.
Yeah, to an extent, we reasonable, just a little bit. Even though I don't listen. David says, salute, brother. And thank y'all again, everybody who's here in the chat. As always, y'all. Thank y'all so much. My sexy is strong. She says exactly, Ty. Ty evidently was making a great point about something she was saying. My sexy is strong. She says that.
You know I
Then
love, and you know I love our good HBCU. She said she went to
Fisk.
Fisk. I
Shout out to
believe
Fisk.
my good sis said she might even be in the D9 as well. I think she did say that.
I think
So
she did. I
there we
think she
go.
did. She says they rewrite the story to fit their narrative. Uh, she's contesting Mr. Thine Mithra. She says all these men they have these stories, but that I did kind of think about that with this invisible man. I was
Yeah.
like, well, these men who are like going to bat for them, they going to war for them. Why are they fighting so hard for them? Is it the brotherhood? That's what I was wondering. But it's because at some point I guess all of them, had a little bit of invisibility. They felt that way, before they had their glow up in Joy's words. They all felt at some point, they felt overlooked. So I was like, because I'm like, you're high value, clearly. This person has, you know, they have everything they need and more, but it's like they still have the humility. They still have it in them that they, remember what it was like, or they can empathize with other men to see that they probably are feeling overlooked. So I guess these men are trying to be nice out here. I don't know. What you think? What you think?
I'm gonna be a little bit vulnerable here, right?
Okay,
Because you
okay.
said something that kind of like triggered me a little bit. There was a point in time where I was overlooked, right? Like I felt overlooked. I'll say that, right? I told you guys I was a tomboy. I played sports. I played with the guys, right? That was my thing. I used to dunk on them, right? And for a long time, especially like within like my formative years, I would say until I got like maybe so I got to like high school or something like that. Like the guys, but first of all, my father wasn't having it. That's one. Like you don't bring no little dusty tail boys around my house unless they playing basketball in the driveway. That's where they stay, right? That's one. And like they liked a different type of girl. Like it wasn't me. They did. And I would say once I grew into myself, right, blossom or whatever, then all of a sudden these same little dusty tail boys that I played basketball with or, around the way, now it's like, hey, it's like over a summer, girl. It's just like 3 months and all of a sudden like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
you.
My father got to get the shotgun, like, cha cha. You know what I mean? And then I think about it. I'm like, well, of course, right? And I say the same thing for guys too. Of course, we women we come into ourselves. Men, the voice drop, shoulders get broad. The muscles start muscling. You know what I mean? There's that thing. Um, but I never this overlooked period. It never affected me in a way where I took it as just that. Like I took it as like I'm a overlooked person, if that makes sense. Like I just never internalized it that much, and I think a lot of people internalize it too much, and and then they weaponize the success. Not saying that was Michael B. Jordan, but he was waiting for that moment, right? I think he was waiting for it specifically for her, right?
Yeah.
But then they weaponize their success and see, I told you, back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot and they all on me. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just never felt the need. Like I said, I'll go back to my high school reunion, and it's the same little boys that were dusty tail. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Oh, look at Ty now." You know what I mean? And I'm like, I would never be like, "Well, you ain't want me back then, and now look." You know what I mean? Now I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I don't even live in the same city. I don't do that. I'll be like, "What's up?" Like, yeah, how y'all doing? Like, it's just a
But do you think that has something to do with, your surroundings? You had a village, Could that have something to do with you had a support system where he's like, okay, if they don't like me, they just don't like me, then that's just not for me. But that doesn't say that you knew that it didn't mean anything like about you personally. It didn't say anything about you personally. You think it's because you had like your folks?
I guess because my dad, I guess they've always, I guess my family has always, I've never felt like I was like an ugly duckling or anything like that, right? I didn't think I was, you know, unattractive. I was, I was teased about. I don't want to say I was teased about, but I was teased about, the same things that I get praised for today, right? I'll say that, like, all above.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. Never
Go
mind.
on,
Let's
tell it.
move on.
I
I used
got
to get
teased.
teased because I had big lips, right? I had
Oh, you're a
the
little
same
small.
size. My lips are that they were the same size when I was 6. Let's just say I had big teeth, right? I've always had like they teased me about that. The same size that my teeth are today, they were that when I was 6. So just think about this wide. I smile big, right? I smile
Yeah.
big, and my cheeks go like that. Think about that, right?
Yeah.
So, but then people say, "Oh, you have a nice smile, baby. Thank you,
You
thank you,
do.
thank you." But I never even internalized it that much where it made me feel like I couldn't be in the market, or I'm overlooked. And maybe because I went through that puberty, and then people started to knock on the door looking for me. They get the you know what I mean. My father did not. I'm telling you, he did not play like that. But I don't know. But I do remember being feeling like, oh, all the boys want those kind of girls. They don't want they don't want my type. I'm not their type, but that's
You
okay.
want the girls with light skin and long hair.
I ain't saying all that, but it was a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. And first of all, I know I don't have any hair today, but baby, it was never. I had hair. If I
Yeah.
get blessed with nothing in this world, no, let me stop. But baby, I had. So they, we couldn't, But I would just say it was. I remember a time of feeling like overlooked, but it came back.
I think yeah, it does have a lot to do with your support system, but
Yeah,
I don't think boys necessarily they don't get there. So we do have an advantage when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I say
yeah. We
that,
get taught after.
um, yeah, because with my teasing, people tease me. I'm gonna tell you two things. Two
What they
things.
tease you about?
I got I got the big head. Was
Do
the big forehead. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like normal, but no, it ain't normal. It look alright, but that was my thing, and I was like, okay, I never cared. I'm gonna wear.
The way you said that made me feel like that's what you used when they were saying that about you. You were like, but it's normal.
I did. I'm like in the ninth grade. I went back to like ninth grade in my head. I'm like, okay, get over it. You still quit looking at it. Don't touch it. Like get back. It's so crazy. And the second thing was, I'm gonna tell y'all, like this is a secret. People don't know this on YouTube. My real name is Nastasha, but my dad has called me Billy since I was like 3 or 4 years old. So
Really? What is that?
yeah,
Like, did he ever explain why?
yeah,
Billy.
it's whatever it sounds like. It's that.
A goat.
Yep, like a billy goat. So like today they still like people like call me that. Like I went to school where my
Billy.
mama taught it. They call me that. Like some people don't even know my real name still. It's
I think
crazy.
your name is Billy.
Yeah, yeah, like it was that deep. It was that deep. And then when I went to college, some people from home, they came there, and
So
then
now,
Billy made it to college, and then, I'm a pharmacist, I'm working, and then somebody comes in there, they like, they're looking for Billy. I said, they looking for me. Like,
I'm Billy.
they like, I don't get it. What do you mean? You've been working here how many years and we never knew this? Okay. But yeah, so we all get teased.
Yeah.
we
Joy,
we
what you
try
got
not to
to
take
for?
it personally, Don't internalize it. Cause it's okay. People will like it. They will think it's cute later on in life.
And
Just
he
just
really got
keep
that from
going.
like be it like from a Billy Goat.
He's eyes. I was eating some paper. Like he saw me like eating some paper at home like a 3-year-old. Look at Joy. I'm glad I don't have low self-esteem, Ty.
No,
Boy,
I know, cause
baby
she
You
like,
was gonna say
podcast
you was
day.
eating paper. Like
That's what he
what?
said.
What
He was
kind of
like,
paper did you have? Good
I don't know, but I
Lord.
still have it. Like, I don't eat paper, but like I eat a
Oh,
lot of ice, but my iron was low too, so that was a
you
whole
too.
nother deal.
I was about to say you got that's an iron issue, Doc.
Yeah, I had to get so that's a whole nother deal. We talk about that in the next episode. But
Okay.
yeah, so see how friends laugh at you
No,
when you
we
tell them
laughing
a
with you.
secret.
We
Yes.
laughing with you.
with you.
Oh my
I
God.
don't
That
know.
is
I feel
so
like
funny.
I mean I kind of like want to call her Billy now. I just
It's because it's cool, huh?
I like it. Well, my aunt goes by Billy. She's a singer. I won't tell y'all who she is because she's a little bit famous, but you know what I mean.
Okay, okay.
And I'm serious. I'm not even trying to be funny. Not Billie Holiday. Y'all was gonna be like, who Billie? No, someone else. But like, yeah, she goes by Billie, even though it's not her name. But
Is
she
it
goes by
Mickey
Billie.
Howard?
Huh?
Is
Joy,
Mickey
what are
Howard?
you? No.
Oh, I didn't even know you tired. But anyway, okay, yeah, okay. So sorry.
Joy, were you in that category? Did you? Were you?
Oh, my glow up is for real, honey. I get better with time.
Girl,
Like
you age like wine,
I ain't even peaked yet. You better stop playing with me.
girl.
You think I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm dead serious right
I'm
now.
not thinking. I'm agreeing with you. I was like,
No,
yes,
I
girl, you
I
get
will
better.
say, I'll say a couple of things. So one, as far as like physically, I've always been really short, petite, super, super, super thin. Like I've, chunked up and filled out since I turned 35.
You didn't get thick,
Filled out
did
a little
you?
bit too much. I done filled out a little too much. Don't worry about it. I've been in the
Girl,
gym. Gonna get it back together.
I don't know why you keep
Um,
making people think that, but okay, I'll let you. I'll let you keep making people think that you out of shape.
I'm just saying it's true.
Go ahead, girl.
True. But as far as like when I was talking about like the glow up and corny and all that stuff, it doesn't always have to be physical. Like quiet as it's kept, like I'm okay. Like I would like I struggle with like taking compliments if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like, oh, you so pretty. Like, it's child, it's the lights and makeup. Don't worry about me. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the and honestly,
The
really, for real,
angles.
it is, and I don't know. Like that's just kind of my thing or whatever. Um, my thing as far as I guess my glow up and like no, like you put a battery in my back, I'm gonna show you what I got. I think that when I was in school, like I had horrible grades. I was a disaster. Right? I was a disaster. Like I wasn't prim and proper enough to be friends with this group, and then I was too prim and proper to be with this group, right? So I was like, oh God, I'm like a nomad, don't know where do I go. And I think that that kind of translated with guys or whatever, like ain't nobody really checking for me like that. I remember being I think I was in the 11th grade, and it was this guy. He was so fine, and we had a dance, and I asked him. I was like, "Well, will you come with me?" And I kid you not, just how Thing was talking about a simple smile or whatever. You have no idea how that could change the trajectory of the way that people look at themselves, because he went to that dance with me. Baby, you couldn't tell me nothing.
After that, it was
Well, to
over.
this day, I was like, oh, I can have anybody. And it just really, like,
After that, yes,
he was so,
he created a monster.
God, but not even a monster. It just really, though, I get it. I understand. I identify like with, not exactly fitting in the mold of what you think somebody's supposed to be like. As far as my grades were concerned, I tell the story all the time. I failed English in 11th grade, but I managed to get through college some kind of way, got a master's degree some kind of way, and I ended up teaching language arts. Who would have thought, right? I mean, the kids used to always be like, wait, what? How is that possible? Like, I feel like my glow up, so to speak, has always been I've been able to overcome obstacles. So when people like, talk about the mortgage boss, that's literally what a boss does. Like, you overcome obstacles, you don't let things get in your way. You figure out a path around it, through it, whatever it is, and you get there. You make a way out of no way. At least with me and God anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I always kind of didn't have a lane, but what I will say is the people in high school, what I have found is they peaked too early in life. Because now I look at those same people that I wanted to kick it with, hang with, be impressed by when I was in middle school or in high school. I'm like, oh, thank God that didn't work out. Like, thank God my mama didn't let me hang out with
Dodged a
y'all. Thank
bullet.
God. It just so that's why I was kind of kept going back to this idea. Well, what's being corny? Like, who makes this up? Like, who is it a cultural thing? Because I'm telling you, the stuff that may have been cool then, they still doing the same stuff today. They still playing the Mean Girls game today. The guys, they still living off of their memories from when they was on the football team back in high school.
Right.
Like, like what was it? Al Bundy, Married with Children, about scored four
Yep.
touchdowns in
Yep.
one. It
Four
that is
touchdowns in
a
a
real,
single game.
yeah, that is a real thing. And so I definitely like the idea the slow and steady wins the race, but I still very much so push back against this idea that men only become visible when they get money. I think it's a matter of what do you do with that money? Because money do make you look good if you do the right things with it. Your clothes may fit better because you spending more time on how you look, how you putting your outfits together, how you present yourself to the world. Might fix your teeth, which helps a lot, men. By the way, I just want to side note. I'm telling you, fix your teeth, it change your life. You'd be surprised. So it's not always just the fact that somebody got so much money. It's what have you done to enhance yourself? Maybe you read more, you got better education, you hang out with a different group of people that have exposed you to more, and now the things that you know and the conversations that you want that you can have with people, that's what makes you attractive. And not the money, but it's what you do with the money to make yourself better.
So, yeah, I think I can agree with a lot of that, but I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Valdezi for the $10 cash app. Thank you so much, Valdezi. We appreciate you supporting the channel over here. Valdezi is a brother to this channel, and he is a part of the mastermind, and he
We love
has
that.
come up on this channel as well to give his unsolicited opinion. So thank you so much, Mr. Valdezi.
Thank you, Valdeezy.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
speaking
staying active.
facts.
He says staying and speaking facts. And we've been missing you past couple streams, Valdeezy. Welcome
I
back.
What you
know.
saying?
Welcome back. He
He
says,
came.
all
He
the
came and got
ladies,
ghost.
salute. David Carmina, we're going to hit the chat up a little bit more, y'all. He says, see, I told you, if she fine enough, we already know what you're looking for, David. You already said.
I
Crazy can be
know.
fun, but you let go fast once you experience it. Yeah, crazy is always interesting. It never gets old. Sometimes you get tired, but it never gets old. It never gets old.
People like a little crazy.
What plot twist thing is Poppy Blanco? Thing is not Poppy Blanco. Poppy Blanco don't even talk about Poppy. But
And
this
now let's shut that down real quickly.
It is not Papa Blanco. No shout out to Papa Blanco, but that's not him. Valdisa says, well said. Just let people know you see them regardless if you're interested or not. A lot of men would feel like they don't exist. Also, it is our job to become something worth seeing or live with the results. I like that,
It's
Valdisi.
true.
There's that word, accountability. Some of it, you got to work on yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have room for improvement. Mama Bear says, I think both men and women make choices. I often heard that men wanted backbone, slim, thick, like a with a small waist and nice hips. That's what they say.
I like a
Yes.
long and thick red on.
Okay.
It's
And
true.
other
I know
things
you
like
too.
that. That's what Mama Bear Mamas has experienced. And I think we all have heard that song.
Yeah.
Thanks, is Valdez. Yup. He's like, yup. Okay. Anyway, he says, Mama Bear, our social circle determines a lot of that trajectory and or the choice to change it.
Yes.
Some of
Yes,
that's back on that mirror, the man
that's
at the
why I
mirror.
allude to when I talk about, dating your peers and people that you are around constantly. But those can be the same people that reject you too.
Yeah, and I was thinking
What?
too, El Guapo says a lot of never meet your heroes. You know, he says it like about talking about the lead attorney. It's like with some of these men, it's like sometimes the woman you think you want or the person you think you want, they may not be what's best for you, or they turn out to disappoint you. You
Yeah.
had all this hype built up for this person, and by some grace of God, they give you a chance. You go out on a date or whatever. You get to go to the dance with them. You just better hope they don't disappoint, because sometimes it is like, you had this thing built up in your head, it was gonna work out a certain way, and it's like that's not really what you want in the first place. Not in the end. At least
Yeah.
I think
No, I
so.
agree.
Yeah. Mama Bear Mama says, thank Mither, I'm already married.
I'm no longer in
I'm
the
no
world.
longer in the world. I got picked eventually. It only takes one.
It
One
really
mic.
does.
That's it. One time somebody
The right
choose you,
one though.
you good.
Some
Right.
of y'all on 2, 3, and 4, and I'm not even gonna point you out, but some of y'all got a lot.
Who you ain't pointing out?
I ain't pointing out. I'm not. I'm just. I'm
You ain't
not
pointing me
pointing.
out?
No,
Oh,
I'm not pointing. Girl, you are still on number one. Why would I
you're
do
still on
that? Just
technically.
no.
Technically.
You are
Still
still on number one, girl.
technically. I was like, you ain't
But
pointing me out.
there's a lot of people in the
Is,
chat
am
that
I here, dog? Am I here, dog?
might. You sure? I ain't doing that to you, sis. We on girl code tonight, sis. I ain't
You
doing
know,
that to you. No,
the
like,
sisterhood. The
the
sisterhood.
sisterhood, girl. That's what they
Okay, he
say.
says, Mama Bear says, I do not consider men having to come up to women being a privilege, because if a woman says no, he could hurt her. Rejection killings are a thing. Mama Bear Mama's gone on give us the dark side.
I think that's what Thane was saying, that we have the privilege of men approaching us, and not necessarily like us having to approach.
But that's what
Um,
she's saying. That's a problem in and of itself. That's not a privilege, because if you say no, they might hurt you. You know these guys, it'd be like,
oh, okay. I'm
telling
sorry.
you
I
Oh,
all
read
their
like
that.
that from New
I
games
Orleans?
and
misread that.
Hold on, let
Okay.
me
Now
take
I
this.
understand. I'm sorry, Mama Bear. It's late. I now understand what you're saying, because no, there no. But so here
a
I will say
thing.
this. I will say this. Even so early to. I mean, not even just when I was in college, but I went to college in DC, right? And back then, even now, I mean, I live in Baltimore, so we had to be very careful about how you turn down someone or say no to someone,
It is
or
New
even if you
Orleans.
say no to someone. Sometimes you'd be like,
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day before everyone had a cell phone, you can be like, okay, here's my number. Write the wrong number down. Keep moving. Hopefully, you never see that man again, right? Or give him the number and like block it. You had to be careful, because I know like a lot of women who would reject, and sometimes they weren't so nice, and sometimes they weren't mean at all, and there was a lot of aggression
Oh, yeah.
towards that. Like sometimes you just want to walk to the store. I just want to get milk and I just want to go back to my dorm, right? I don't want to stop and talk, and I don't want to, you know, do that. If you say it the way that person doesn't like, it could
That
be.
Baltimore sound like a lot like New Orleans on a
That
good
was, first
night.
of all, that was DC, so we're not gonna come from B more.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No, no.
DC.
But no, Baltimore is the same. Like no, I mean, I think that's still a thing today.
It is.
That women do have to go through. It's like, do I just say like,
No, thank you.
can I say no, thank you, and keep it moving,
Mm-mm.
I
or
would never embarrass a man
no, me
publicly or
either.
privately.
No,
I wouldn't. I've never, like, in my experience, I've never, ever, ever.
me
I
either.
just, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's not in me. I'll, just politely, thank you, I appreciate it. Maybe politely change the subject. I am struggling to reconcile the, and I'm sorry if I say this and y'all are offended, but I'm struggling to reconcile the idea of this Me Too. I'm gonna tell on you because I'm so offended and you can't handle the fact that somebody's flirting with you that you don't want flirting with you. Like I'm struggling with that because I feel like there's always a polite way to just excuse yourself from a situation and keep it pushing. It seems like now it's like people don't have the social skills to be able to do that, and that's concerning to me because the only difference between harassment and flirting is that somebody flirting with you that you don't like. Like I don't get it. Now that man gotta lose his job. Like it just it's weird to me. I don't get it. But I think that there's definitely a right way to handle it. But then sometimes you just deal with crazy people that no matter what you say, they gonna flip out on you.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, if you're in New Orleans, you walking down Bourbon Street, they're gonna grab your arm first. They're gonna do that first. And then they're gonna be like, "What's up, baby?" And you can be like, "No, thank you." And then they're gonna be like, "F you," and all that. They're gonna go straight there. They're gonna go from 0 to 100. So you gotta be
Right.
careful. Sometimes, people are sensible and you can tell them no in a nice way. Some of them, they like, you don't tell me no. So
Right.
be careful. Be careful. Thane says, shout out to me. Look at me. Who is me?
Billy. What's-
It's like be all over the internet. What do I be thinking about when I
Come
do stuff
on.
like
Don't act
this?
like that, Billy. Billy
Okay.
Jean.
No, that too. That was, that's my song. You didn't know that, but
I
that
know
is
that's
my
your song,
song.
girl. Billy Jean,
Yes,
girl.
that is my song. Mama Bear says, speaking from personal experience, I think it's still best to have a close male friend or mentor to vet the man moving forward. All women know a guy who is willing to do that. I agree, Mama Bear moments. Speaking of Mama Bear moments, what we doing?
We could pull
Let's
up real quick
see.
before we close it out.
Yeah, because we got a short one
Yeah.
tonight on y'all. Mama Bear, let's see what we gonna
Before we
do.
close out, Mama Bear, we
And
because we
nobody
love
else.
you.
Mama Bear's the last one.
Mama Bear be the last one tonight, and we'll close it on out after her.
Yes.
Hey, Mama Bear.
Girl, hey.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. I can't see Ty though. Something's wrong with my computer.
You
Is
can't
she
see me?
speaking right now?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't see me?
Yeah, I can't see her, so I think I'm going through system issues. No
Uh-oh.
worries.
You're a little
I'm gonna go
staticky as
back in the
well.
chat. And I'll. Did you three get my separate Cash App?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Just double checking. I just wanted to
We,
make sure the money went to the right place. So
Yes, ma'am.
thank you, Mama
Absolutely.
Bear.
Yes.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
yeah, no
Oh,
problem.
she
Yes.
can't
Then
hear
I'll
me.
save it for
Yeah.
the future. I'm going back to modding. Bye.
Thank you,
Well,
Mama.
thank you, Mama
She said
Bear,
she
for
can't
coming
hear me.
up. Joy, you want to go ahead or you ready to wrap us up? You always give us our closing.
We're not gonna run through the rest of the comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's run through
Okay.
them real quick and
Yeah,
then
I
we'll
don't want
close it out.
nobody to
Cause
be invisible
yeah,
now. Come on
Right.
now, Ed Allen.
I'm
that's
sorry.
right. We acknowledge everyone over here.
Yes, and then there's another person. I've been putting his chats up, but I didn't say his name. He's new over here, and welcome. He has been very active in the chat. Where is he? He's Jerome Truitt. Welcome to the My
Thank
Unsolicited Opinion
you,
podcast,
Jerome, coming
and thank you so
through.
much for being active in this chat. You've been keeping it going tonight.
Y'all
Thank you
been
so
getting
much.
active.
Yes, Mama Bear moments, Mama Bear illustrations. She says, "Thing. Women may think their judgment is best, but men will know a good man or a bad man better than any woman."
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Just
can
like
yeah,
how
agree with
women
that.
we see each other, you know.
Yeah.
yeah. I see.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with
Hmm.
that.
Yes. Valdez says, "Oh wow, in Allen, that's a crazy story." Jordan was the goat too, so there you go. Thanks, Valdez.
There
I
you
don't know
go.
how to
Come on,
receive
great
that.
all time. Y'all
Okay.
see how he made? See how he put a little spin on that for you? You need that
See,
kind of man
he
in your
my
life. You
people.
understand?
I know my people, and my people know me. Me and Valdez, we've been here. Thane Mithra, he says, Mama Bear agreed. However, men and women being friends is debatable. I got thoughts on that, but we'll have to talk about that another time.
That,
Male family
that's another
members with
stream.
zero agendas, but a woman's well being are the solution. That's the goal. Yes, that is the goal. A woman's well-being. Thane says also, I'm not sure that all modern women are ready to listen and or are willing to consult said male family. Are we gonna listen to that? Are we? Oh my God, this is
Oh,
Nina Simone. She says, "True story, Billy." Y'all know her. She knows me.
oh
This is
yeah,
really true. You know,
Nina.
I gave
Oh,
y'all like that was from my soul tonight. I gave y'all some real private and
look,
personal.
look. She
Don't
keeping you. She keeping you. She keeping you, making sure you ain't up here telling no lies.
this is true. She knows it,
She
you know.
still call you Billy.
Yeah, uh-huh. I'm
That's what
surprised
they
it
call
hadn't
you.
slipped out before now. I think somebody said it on my channel. Yes.
Pretty Billy,
That's
they
it.
call her. Pretty Billy.
That's
I'm listen. I'm gonna tell you. Listen. I think I'm. I
This
think I
me from
might.
now, huh? I'm my real self
Right.
now.
I think I might be going with cousin on. I might be calling. I might be. I might be calling you Billy for now on. Come on. I
Yeah.
like it.
I
Listen,
want
you
to
know
be
my name.
I do. I want to be
So,
Nastasha. It's like, don't call me Billy no more. Call me Nastasha. No.
or we call you
Call
the
me
The
whatever.
Russian.
I
Russian.
go by the Russian.
Girl,
All
you
The
know,
right.
I thought you were
Russian.
from Russia for the long. I was like, why he keeps saying, is she from Russia for real?
Nastasha. Nastasha is
We the
Russian, even
black
though y'all
Russian.
clearly
I
I'm
really
black.
was like, oh, is she from Russia? Like,
That
Nastasha
would have
and
been
Boris. Was it Natasha?
that was
Boris
yes,
and
Natasha, but
Boris and
Nastasha is
Russian
Natasha.
cute.
boy
Yeah.
with
Yes. So there's that. I'm Russian. I'm Billy. I'm like, I'm country, Russian, all this black, all that.
all
You
of that,
know,
girl.
she
I'm
exotic,
JB.
ain't it? She exotic.
She's exotic,
Thank
girl. They coming to fly you.
She gonna
They
get flew
coming
out?
for you.
The Russian. It means the resurrection. You know, I've been there before. Thanks says, Mama Bear Illustrations. I do not disagree. You are 100% correct and accurate. The issue is that a good number forego said consultations above until it's too late. I cannot read this time of night, guys. I'm just letting y'all know. I do my best reading in the morning and the afternoons, but at
That's
night my
good.
brain really starts to shut down because I'm an
Okay.
early bird. She gets the worm. Thane says, did I just read that? He says, Mama Bear. Even having a father sometimes does not mean that the children listen.
Right.
Some do, some don't. Mama Bear, she's her
Papa
in pain,
don't
like going blow for
preach.
blow. She says, gotcha. I understand where you're coming from. Point, check,
They were
dang.
getting active in the chat, girl. We were reading a whole different conversation for.
Okay. This is Mama Bear.
Wait.
Yes, ma'am. I was watching a Wise Club podcast, and a running theme is many ladies did not listen until after the fact, then learned to consult. Hey, I've been a listener. Well, nah, I listen to my daddy. I don't listen to nobody else. Yeah, I might.
I like
Not
this.
too much though, because yeah.
Shout out to the Wise Club.
Shout out
Shout
to the
out to the
Wise Club.
Wise
And I saw
Club.
Lisa in here too.
Hello.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
shout
y'all,
out to
Lisa.
them.
Yeah. Mama Bear says, Thane, do you think this is due to culture or lack of strong leadership or both? What does he say? Valdez
They
says,
having a whole different conversation in the chat. They telling
yes.
us what we should have been talking about.
Okay. Valdez says, so sorry. Been working in the IT. What is this? File to heart. What? Okay. Okay, Valdez. Welcome back. Okay. Sim, see
He said
ya.
he's been working. Oh, here goes
Okay.
Sim. He's never
Sim, see ya.
invisible over here.
Hey,
Also,
hey.
okay, we gonna see him. Also known as Sim Saya. When we say whatever you
Whatever
like.
you like.
Your Grace. He says, my unsolicited opinion and check family. Y'all think I'm joking about this late stuff. Dang Minter, he says, Mama Bear, I firmly believe this is a cultural issue. Steadfast culture fosters strong men from birth. Period. And that's in like that kind of way, like
Okay.
period. Okay. Sim says, from geek to chic, y'all know Sim
Jenny.
watched Jenna Jones. He knows Jenna Jones.
Yes, from geek to chic.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold.
Yes. He says from Jenna Jones when I
That's
didn't know.
exactly what it was. And with Rude Jew and all of them on there. Oh,
Yes. We
Jenny
can always
Jones.
depend on Sim. He was watching this messy TV
The
talk
same
shows
stuff
like
that we was
us.
watching.
Yes. David says salute. Sim says
See?
mortgage boss is over here doxing these men. Who she was doxing?
I don't know.
No.
Oh
Who
no,
she
we
going
watch
after
the
him?
y'all watch the replay. We'll
Watch the
find out.
replay. Replay gang. Gang gang.
Okay, gang, gang, get active, get active. Sim says David Carmina. Sim says, dang, salute. Can we skip some of these? They are on the
Yeah.
panel talking real tough. What? They simply need someone to whisper in that ear with, oh, here we go. Here we go.
What's that?
Sim going on. Turn off the
Didn't say
lights.
anything.
David says, look at Michael Irvin. They want to cash him out. They did Michael Irvin wrong. They
Boy,
did
you
him wrong.
thought
He
I was
ain't
red
deserve that.
pill before. Don't get me started on that.
Oh my goodness. Here go Sim. Here go Sim. Y'all get Sim out here.
What is the conversation that they having in the chat, girl?
I don't know. It done went dark. It's late.
There
You can
he
tell it's getting
go.
late. Here's Yetta. Is that Yetta? Yetta?
E-
Ye-
Yada.
Yetta. Welcome
I
to the
know
My Unsolicited
Yada.
Opinion
Oh, hey.
podcast. Welcome, Yetta.
I don't
You
know why
unfortunately
she ain't put Yada Bada up there.
we need Yetta better so we can know how to pronounce it. People like me, you know.
Yada.
Unfortunately, some men don't take no for an answer, positioning you to ultimately turn them down rudely. It's like I told you no now. Now go
Yeah.
on now.
No, yeah, I said no. I said
Mm-hmm.
no, thank you, and I try to keep it moving. But you now you
Mm-hmm.
pulling on my arm. Now you
And I
know
Mm.
all
now I'm
that.
all kind of bees and everything like that because I politely turned you down. That
Yes.
happens. I'm telling y'all. I know men think like, but it happens more often.
Yes.
It does, and I'm not even trying to like. It happens. Oh my god, it happens.
Yes. Thane says politely declining. Yes, Joy, agreed. Politely declining and moving around is the best way to handle it. Valdezi says, Joy, speaking facts. Joy, they
You actual and
sometimes they
factual.
couple you. They
I
with
don't
you.
even know.
Says it's not a problem with someone talking to you unless you don't find them attractive.
So
That's
she talk
it.
about that. She talk about that.
Harass.
Thane has turned back on Mama Bear. He says, nah, Mama Bear illustrations. I
Thank you to
couldn't
see
see Ty
either.
either, but she sounds fine.
I
Mm.
might be fine a little.
She
I don't
might
know.
be. She got a
I'm
little
fine.
body
I'm
or something.
well. Y'all, but y'all can see me though, right? Cause I can see y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that. You know, Simsia
He
had
did
gave us
what?
a recommendation, and now the people is like, "Where's Ty?" But she's here. I promise.
She's there. I see her. She's there. Thane says Ty dubbed her highness Billie Jean with the
That's right.
moonwalk. I'm a moonwalk on out
That's
here.
right.
Billie Jean.
You better come
Yes.
I
on.
love Mr. Michael Jackson.
Yes,
Yes.
girl.
He's the greatest. He's another goat. Mama Bear says Thane Miller. Gotcha. There you got him. Sometimes my computer glitches. Okay, we passed there. Let me go. See,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to the lead. I think lead gone. They taking shots at the lead attorney. Lead attorney, yeah, he know. He probably shooting somebody, taking shots at somebody else on his channel. Valdezi, love your intelligence. Very well spoken. Salute, brother. Thank yes. He's
That's
always
right.
giving us the knowledge, with his regalness, his highness.
Valdezi came up here too,
Yes.
and listen,
He,
I think we're fortunate because a lot of people go on the channel up on people's channels and they're like rah rah rah, but
yeah,
the guys
we have
come
some
over
good
here and they're
people.
like, yeah, no,
Yes, yes. Now they do want to get a little feisty
they do
sometimes.
like to get a little girl, they do, and
Like a little, just a little feisty, but
we provide a little feist,
a little mod. I ain't gonna say modern. I'm gonna say a little mod,
a little
a little
mod,
auntie, a little mod auntie.
a little mod,
Modern woman meets the invisible man. I keep telling y'all that. I'm telling you,
yeah.
they gonna get it. They gonna get on
A
one
match
accord
made
at
in
some
heaven,
point.
girl. That's what I heard.
The modern woman and the invisible man. We see you, your
We see
grace.
you.
Sim says, Thane Miller is here for the spicy conversation. Sim is always throwing a little spice. He's always doing that. Okay. Wait. What did you talk about? NAllen, you should, what? Listen to your, after a while, you got to stop listening to them too.
Here
Uh-uh.
we go.
And
Mm-mm.
not disrespectful, but
Mm.
sometimes they be talking to yin yang. Don't listen to that. Mama Bear says, I do not. I do think that many men are lonely. These men be lonely. Is anybody lonely?
If you think you're lonely now,
All that.
yeah.
It's finna be warm outside if that helps. Uh,
No, it does not
and
help.
that when it's hot outside,
Lukewarm
we say cold.
summer.
Mm.
Lukewarm
But they are
summer.
they're not always sure what women want, and because of the bad men Women do not know which men are good or bad. Oh, let's see where we at. Oh, wait.
All
I think I
right,
lost.
all
Hold on, my
right.
spot. I lost my spot. Hold on. Where we at? Where we at? Let's see.
I don't know.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Shoot. I don't know if this chat go up or not. I lost my spot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Mama Bear says, I also knew a young man who was an electrician, making 90K a year, no college debt, and even had trouble because he did not have a college degree. It's hard out here for men. Yes, Thane agrees. Mama Bear, correct. I know similar men as above. Many that have opted to go get other cultural partners. They all welcome here. You know, love is love. I
Yeesh.
think we can end it on that one.
I love
Yeah.
it. I
Yes,
love
this
it.
was
Well,
a
we
good topic.
definitely appreciate everybody's comments. You all were very engaged. We love that over here. One thing I would like for y'all to do is give us some suggestions. What y'all want us to talk about? Give us
Yeah,
some topics. What are some things that you would be interested in debating or hearing our opinions, our unsolicited opinions about, whether it's something that's currently happening in pop culture or just something that you've really been wanting to ask a woman your whole life. You got the 52 years old and you like, I really, really need to know. Why do y'all, whatever it is, we're here to answer that. And like I said, keep the dialogue going. For those of you
Yeah.
that are watching on the replay, put your comments below. Again, we want to keep this conversation going. Tell us, what is an invisible man to you? Do you believe in an invisible man? Is that really a thing? What about an invisible woman? Because I'm convinced girls are invisible too, especially when you don't got the long hair with the light skin, and the big old booty Judy. You know what I'm saying? But look forward to seeing y'all in the next episode. Today is, what day is this? Wednesday? Today's
Today's
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
So we'll
girl.
see y'all
Hump
on
day.
Saturday, back at the same time, 9-ish. And tell somebody, y'all pull up. Tell two of your friends to come pull up on us. I'll talk to y'all next time. Y'all have a good day. Bye.
see
Bye.
y'all.